Funky! Funky Funkerton! Welcome on down to Funktown, USA! Am I just sitting here chatting on my own right now? No, we're live, baby. Are my headphones on? These are weird headphones because I have to check. Sometimes I don't know if they're on, so I have to like hit the button and it's like, battery, about 90%. And I'm like, okay, can you just say, yes, I'm on? Or I'll be sitting there and I'll be like, talking away, and then it's like, battery low, please recharge. And I'm like, okay, I'm in the middle of something, but it cuts out all other audio when I do that. Boda 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 ba. I have to do the awkward pause of waiting for people to come in. I don't have a delay on, do I? No. Should be instantaneous. But sometimes it likes not to be. Boo da boo da boo. Ba-doo 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 ba-doo. Ba-doo, 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 ba-doo. Ah, there's the people. Hi! Finally. This song is bitchin'. That's a good thing, though. Bitching's a good thing. Unless you're doing it, and then it's not. Just stop bitching. No, I did the wrong thing. Oh, I'm a silly man. I don't know what I'm doing. I have so many fucking tabs open. Why do I have so many tabs open? Somebody come, call the tab police, and shut my ass down. Okay, I tweeted. Are you proud of me yet, Dad? I hope so. Or Mario Maker? I'm saving that for YouTube. I feel like if I just do it for live streams all the time, I'll kind of burn myself out on it. Because I like edited Mario Maker more than I like streamed Mario Maker. I like fast cuts. I like jokes about failing a level and then just immediately cutting to the next good bit. I don't like constantly just grinding through a level over and over again on stream. It's just not that... it's not fun for me to watch. So it wouldn't be fun for me to do either. What's up, Corey? Where's the nuke ending? am I still trying to get the nuke ending in Detroit Become Human? Did it finally change? Nah, it's changed. The days of the nuke ending are over. We are free! You're all free now! Yay! What's the song you're using? This is a song called... What is this song? Owl Vision by Eclipse. I just have like a cyberpunk thing open. If you're watching this after the stream has ended, congratulations! You've made it to the portion that none of this is audible, and I'm just speaking to you now with... Everybody in chat react like something really crazy happened, okay? Everybody just like laugh in chat right now, like... So good, you had to be there though. Now everyone watching after is going to be like, what did he say? I'll never know! He gave away the big plans to everything in his channel! Oh yeah, let me get Streamlabs up. I haven't streamed in a really long time. I was sitting here and I was like, I kind of want to stream, but I don't know what I'll stream. And I was like, you could just sit there and talk. And I was like, that's a great idea, me! Love is cool, thank you for the 100 bits. And K Shanae, thank you for the 200 bits. You're an inspiration, love. Thank you. That's very appreciative. What is this thing? Thank you, by the way, for sharing bits. Does that just mean you gift bits to people in chat and then they're able to gift bits? I don't know what it means. Can we do the Barbie roundhouse kicks? We should! I don't have any Barbies here, though. It shares emotes? What? Sweet mother of fuck! Stay up, Goblin! Thank you! 20 gifted subs, holy crap! How many gifted subs does Stay Home Goblin have now? That's nuts! I'm live streaming late. I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, okay? Are you listening? There's other time zones in the world. Don't let anyone know I told you that, though. Twitch on iOS sucks. It can do, and it be, but now you can gift subs on phones, I think. Maybe not on iOS, because they're a bunch of cunts. And they're like, oh, we're Apple. We have $1 trillion company, and we're going to delay all the updates for our product because we want it to be secure and work properly. Pfft. Just release it! Release it, Apple, and break the shit! Is this the hill I want to die on? Tukey, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Shalina Bianca, lovely name. Thank you for the 100 bits. Love you and everything you do. Hope you have a great day. You shouldn't love everything I do. There's bound to be some shit I do where you're like, I'm not so sure about that one. I appreciate it. Holy mother of God, Twitch giggles. Coming in with the fat 25 subs. Man, if that doesn't make your ass cheeks moist, I don't know what will. Thank you so much. Siggity, thank you for the 100 bits. Look at this darn boof. Or buff, I don't know. Milan, thank you for the 100 bits. Hope you're doing well. Keep being amazing. I don't know if I am amazing right now, but you know what? If you think so, I'm going to keep doing whatever it is I'm doing. Thank you. And I had a great day. I went and viewed offices today. Because I thought about moving to an office a while back, like when I moved to Brighton. But then a bunch of stuff was happening. I was like, I don't know if I want an office. And now I'm like, I kind of want to separate house from work. Don't get me wrong, working from home is fantastic. And I really like it, and I'm sure a lot of people would love it. It's always like a grass is greener thing, but when you do work at home, then your home starts to feel less like home. And it's nice to get out of your house and be productive somewhere else because it kind of invigorates you to like come up with different ideas. It's like when you work out at home versus working out at the gym. If you work out at home, it's like, yeah, you can get it done and you can usually get a good workout in, but at the same time, it kind of makes you a little more, makes you a little less productive because you're like, well, I could do that anytime. But when you go to the gym, it's like, okay, I'm here. I kind of have to fucking do the workout now. So I feel like that's kind of how it would be. Casper, thank you for the 5 subs. I kind of feel like that's how it would be if I worked in an office. And I'm sure I'll work in an office for like a while, and then I'll turn around and I'll be like, I kind of want to work at home again. It's just good to reinvigorate the spirit, the soul, and get your mind juices going again. Because sitting at home, it's kind of like, yeah, I could just sit down and record anything whenever I want, and that's good. But I need kind of like jumper cables on myself and the channel right now where it just like spark something and then we can record some cooler stuff. Because I can't record bigger things here. And I don't want to record stuff in my house. I'd kind of like a power hour set in an office and a VR setup and then a separate recording space so I can just kind of bounce between them and record stuff that way. Read the chat, bro. I am! Jeez, relax. I seem nervous. What? I'm not nervous at all. Where are people coming up with this stuff? Music room as well. That's another thing. I might be able to set up drums there. And then I'll just actually have like spaces dedicated to certain things, and it'll make it easier to record then. Do you know what the Valve Index is? I do. I have one. Snowpuff? I have one ordered. I don't know when mine will arrive though. For anyone who doesn't know, the Valve Index is the next version of the HTC Vive. HTC Vive, the VR headset, is made by Valve through HTC, but then Valve took what they learned from that and are just making their own headset, their own virtual reality headset. And it launched for a lot of people on the 28th of June, but you have to get it like immediately to get it at that rate. So I got it like a couple hours later, so I think mine arrives at the end of this month. Ah, my cables. Hey, what's up, Jane? You lying bastard, where's the green hair? I said I would dye it green. First of all, I never said how much of it I would dye green. I never said how I would dye it green, and I never said when I would dye it green. People's erections for the green hair is becoming obnoxious at this point. Glow in the dark green, let's go. That would be kind of cool. I might do like a green strip. You know how Aaron kind of has the blonde strip? Maybe I'll do a green one. Loopholes. I mean, I never locked myself into anything, so. Go bald and dye your head green. That's a good idea. Another hamster, think of the 100 bits. What microphone are you using? By the way, big fan. I'm using it's a Sennheiser MKH416. It doesn't say that on it. I don't know why I'm looking down at it. Oh, it does! MKH416P48. It's a hypercardioid shotgun microphone. The ones that you see, like, boom operators use on television sets and everything. Am I still living in Brighton? Yep. I'm not moving out of Brighton. And for the sake of, like, actual recordings, getting an office wouldn't change anything on you guys's end, other than the background might look different, but I'm also kind of bored of this background. I want to be able to, like, put stuff in the background, like figurines and gifts that you guys have given me, because I also have boxes of gifts lying around that is just taking up too much space in my house that I want to move out to somewhere else as well. Are you gonna get a new light? Nope! It's green lamp now. Blue lamp's broken brother. Sean Tfuel album, Excite? Yes! Very excited. Comes out August 30th? I went to see Tfuel in Amsterdam with my brother just over a week ago, and it was the best live show I've ever seen in my life. They were phenomenal. Danny Carey on drums brought his A game. And they played 2 of the new songs, and that was the first time I had heard them. And they're so good. Septic Lexi, thank you for the 4 months. And Andromedus, thank you for the 2 months. HMB, thank you for the Prime sub. Stacy, thank you for the 200 bits. Coffee Nut, thank you for the 15 months. Had an awful day, and you streaming has made my evening, so thank you. Aw, I'm sorry you had a bad day, Stace. See you later, Clarkson. Thank you for the bits. Modestly Mark, thank you for the 100 bits. You should dye your eyebrows green. Hell no. People were like, maybe at 100k retweets you should dye your beard green. Like, first of all, are you 6? And secondly, no. Stay on God, thank you for the 10 more gifted subs. And DJ Darkside, Jesus guys. Thank you. Just get a green wig. I did that as a joke at the karaoke. I didn't intend for that to be like, look guys, I did it, how trolled you, but people took it as that. And people were like, that's not good enough! It needs to be fucking green! Like, okay, maybe it's time to go outside. Wait, I'm late, did you already play it? Play what? Shave your eyebrows. I should shave everything. I'm 11, so shut the fuck up. That's a good Vine reference. Pride, thank you for the, or Prid, thank you for the tier 1 sub. PMA Shay, thank you for the 7 months. Somebody fell asleep on this synthetic bass. HT Raptor, thank you for the 100 bits. I got my eyes dilated at the eye doc, so listening to your loud voice will entertain me. Damn. I've never had to do anything at the eye doc like that. That and I don't go to an eye doctor very often. Grey Blankets, thank you for the 100 bits. Amethyst, thank you for the Prime sub. Anime Girl, thank you for the 8 months. Jolie Bun, thank you for the 100 bits. Also, speaking of like office stuff and everything, another reason to get an office was to get better internet. It was actually one of the main driving factors. Because right now, whenever Evelyn comes over here, there's some nights, I don't always want to stream, but there's some nights where it's like, oh, I'd love to stream, but she does her streaming in the evenings as well. And her streams take priority because that's her main gig. Like, her bread and butter is streaming and mine's YouTubing, and I can go without streaming if I have to. But we haven't tested if we can stream at the same time, and I don't want to fuck up her streams just because of my streams. So streaming is like her full-time job. God, this song is kind of going through my head right now. It's cool, but for like 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So if I get an office, then maybe we can stream at the same time. Or I can just stream more with better internet at higher quality. And I can also get my videos done better and send them to Robin easier and things like that. What's up, Lee? What's poppin'? I love this and how nice everyone is. Oh, wholesome hours now, boys. Jane, are you and Lee just in the same place? Messaging each other in chat? Tattoo your face green. I'll just do my whole body green. Just get a bucket of paint and all over my head, and then no one can say anything. It's my favorite Tool song? Clark said, I thought you were leaving. But thank you. A favorite Tool song? Maybe like 46 and 2, just because of the drum solo in it. I like 46 and 2, I like Jambi, I like Lateralis, I like Parabola. There's so many. I like Schism because it was the first one I heard. Do you ever just stub your toe and hold your breath listening to your brain scream at you? Lonely Ace, that's such a mood. Yes. Where you like stub your toe and it's not painful enough to really go, ah, fuck it. But it's not unpainful enough to just walk it off. You kind of just have to stop and go, okay, I'm okay. I stubbed my face. Do you have any nicknames for Gab? I call her Gabber Bamp every now and then. Not often, but putting Bamp at the end of any word makes her giggle. So I just do it for everything. Anytime we're watching a show and a long name comes out like Dumbledore, it's like, oh my god, it's Double Dank! It's Double Bamp! And she just cracks up. Or Benedict Cumberbatch will come on and be like, oh no, it's better Bump Humberbink! For some reason that gets her. Every single time, without fail. No matter how, she knows it's coming and I still do it and it still gets her. Do I plan on keeping the ponytail? Well, it's not a ponytail, it's like a bun thing. And no, that's going soon. Well, I say soon, but could still be here for like a month. Jack is becoming kinda toxic / obnoxious. Okay, thank you for your drive-by. Either explain why or just, I don't know. Tiny man bun, yes. It's very, very small. I don't even think it counts as a bun. Rude Dog, thank you for the 16 months. How sure you're gonna cut your hair? Probably just back to what it was. Game Goddess, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. I can't see half the time. Pastel, thank you for the 11 months. And Hannah, thank you for the 100 bits. So far from home today and I loved it. Hope you're having a great day. I am, thank you. And I'm glad you liked it. there's, after I saw it, because I had to see it before the interview, I really wanted to talk about it, but you can't really. There's so many spoilers in it. Yeah. Esper. Esper. The end credit scene in it is really good. It's probably one of my favorite end credit scenes. Because most of the end credit scenes are like, I'm not going to spoil it, what it is, but most end credit scenes are like, yeah, that's fun. It's like, oh, that's a fun little extra kind of thing. But the end credit scene in Far From Home, you have to watch because it actually has like really big story implications. Well, it's not an end credit scene, it's a mid credit scene. There's an end credit scene as well. Have you ever built your own PC? 4 out of the 5 PCs I have were all built by me, custom built. One of them I got pre-built. I mean, it was still like all the components were still picked by me. So I was putting in the stuff that I knew I wanted. They just put it together and then sent it to me. So technically that's still built by me. It's just put together by somebody else, if you know what I mean. But that's the only one where I didn't like get all the components and put it together myself like a Lego set. Cause one of my PCs messed up and I really needed a new one fast. So I just got one like pre-built and got it sent to me in like a couple of days because I really needed one. I had nothing to work on. Thoughts on Toy Story 4? It was good, Lauren. I've never been like, oh my god, Toy Story is the best ever kind of person. I like them, they're charming, and I have a lot of fun when I watch them. They'd never be like a go-to for me, like The Incredibles or something would be, or WALL-E. But I really liked it. Some parts towards the end kind of dragged out, because it was like, okay, we gotta go do this thing! And then they fail at it and they have to go back and do it again, which is standard, like, story arc circle kind of stuff that you have to do in a movie. But they did that like 3 times and I was like, okay, this is still fun, but can we get to the conclusion? But I really like the ending. I feel like that ending was something that needed to happen in 3, so I'm glad they kind of wrapped up some stuff like that. Why is WALL-E so underrated? I would not say WALL-E is underrated. Tons of people love WALL-E. Doesn't WALL-E have like a crazy high Rotten Tomatoes score? It's 95%. I wouldn't say that's underrated. Undervalued? I know what you mean though. Not many people say it's their favorite animated movie. So I get what you mean. WALL-E's my favorite animated movie. Mainly because I like environmental storytelling, and I like storytelling through visuals. Don't get me wrong, I love a good dialogue scene, probably more than the other, but I just like when something's able to say a lot without saying anything. And maybe that's why I like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and stuff like that so much, and Shadow of the Colossus. There's like almost no dialogue in Shadow of the Colossus, and all of it is told kind of through the environment. I like that stuff. And WALL-E's really good at that. It has a lot of dialogue through like halfway towards the end and everything, but the whole start of it is kind of just like WALL-E making noises. And some of the audio in that movie is really good. What's up, gamers? What's up, Madison? Ever watched JoJo? I haven't, actually. That's one of those things that every time I say something, everyone's always like, is that a JoJo reference? I'm like, I have never seen it. Technically everything is probably a JoJo reference. Do I like Up? Yep. I like Up a lot. Jesus Christ. Some of these songs just go on all fucking day, don't they? Don't get me wrong, they're cool, but it's the type of music that just kind of repeats itself too often. Play Minecraft with Felix. We actually talked about it. And he joked that it would be funny to have me on for an episode. I think he's kind of into it a bit too much for that now, but part of me really wants to play it. Just because it looks like he's been... I haven't really been following his series, but hearing him talk about it to me when we hang out makes it sound a lot more fun than I thought it would be. And now it's kind of gotten through that phase where it's like, Minecraft's cool! Oh, people play Minecraft reviews? Minecraft sucks! Minecraft's cool again! So it's kind of past that weird phase now. So maybe it's a good chance to pop back into it. Because it was a moment where you either got in at the start and then figured it out, and then it got to a point where I couldn't get into it anymore and do videos on it, because then everyone would have been like, oh my god, you don't know this thing about the game? God, you suck. Now it's kind of past that phase where everybody's kind of like, yeah, Minecraft's chill, just play it, man. So I think it would be fun to play it now. I think people are a lot less... People are more willing to give you advice on it and feedback rather than yell at how bad you are at it. Cringe culture is dying? I don't know about that, Septicard. Cringe culture is kind of just a byproduct of the internet. I feel like the cringe culture around certain things just kind of shift around. Fortnite kind of has the cringe culture now. Which even that's kind of dying a small bit. It was Minecraft, then it was Five Nights at Freddy's, now it's kind of Fortnite. We just need something else to come out, and then there'll be a cringe culture around that. People are fighting against it, at least. Yeah. Everything in the internet kind of moves in cycles. It's like gaming on YouTube was like the it thing for like 2015, 2016. Then 2017 was like, it's kind of dipping, and now 2018 and 2019, everyone's like, y'all hear something? Gaming on YouTube is just dead. As a whole, by the way, not just like specific examples. Like Fortnite is still doing really well on YouTube, and that's why people would say, well, gaming's not dying on YouTube because the gaming category is booming higher than it has in a while. But it's like, yeah, but one specific part of it is the variety of gaming is kind of having a slump right now. Which is why you see a lot of people, I mean, myself included, who kind of pull away from doing just solely gaming stuff anymore. And doing more so like the Reddit stuff and the funniest home videos and things like that, because not only is it fun to change certain things and record different types of content, and I genuinely just enjoy recording those, but it's also a byproduct of like, well, people, first of all, it's just hard to find stuff that's hard to play that people really want to see, but also YouTube just isn't pushing the gaming stuff as much anymore. Back in 2016, it was a case of like, you could literally play anything for 5 minutes and people would watch it. And now a 5-minute gaming video is like, are you fucking high? Matt Pat did a great video on it. Yeah, Abby. He talked about a lot of the stuff that I kind of wanted to talk about for a while, but I was like, I don't know how to formulate this into a proper point without sounding like I'm just complaining about things or just poking holes. I don't want to just poke holes in everything and be like, YouTube, why are you doing this? Without having some sort of like reasoning behind it or any sort of fix is not the right word, but you know what I mean. It's the same whenever I talk about games, especially stuff that the stuff that I think is bad. I don't want to ever just say like, this game sucks. And at least I have done that in the past, sadly, but most times I like to say like, this part sucks, this is why I think it sucks, and this is what I personally think it could do better. And for stuff like that, stuff like YouTube and everything, I feel like I would just be talking and then not actually making too much of a point. How is YouTube strict on cursing? It's pretty damn strict, Sly. There's all the stuff that people don't get. Okay, there's a thing on YouTube now that I don't know if some of you probably know about, but there's a thing called self-rating on YouTube now, So what normally happens is, it's not out for everybody, it's out for certain channels. I've had it for, have I had it for like a year? I've had it close to a year at this point. But normally when you upload a video, if you don't have self-rating, YouTube just goes through it, and that's where the demonetization and everything happens, because the algorithm and the system checks it and then puts it across a bunch of different metrics, and then it's like, we don't like this, it's demonetized, we like this, it's fine, whatever. But I have a self-rating system where every video I upload, I have to go in, and if you watch MatPat's video, you've seen these rules where it's like profanity, violence, sexual content, minors in videos, anything like that. So I get a whole checklist of things whenever I upload a video that I either say no to all of them, being like, this video is safe for work, it's safe for advertisers, there's no violence, there's no sexual content, there's no minors being treated weirdly in it, there's no swearing. Or I can go through each one of them and be like, yeah, they're swearing, and then I can say like, there's mild swearing, there's heavy swearing. Or I can click, there's violence in this, but it's video game violence, or it's actual real violence for like a Philly D video where you have to talk about news. So most times I just click, it's safe for everybody, because if I click, there's heavy swearing in this, then I just demonetize myself right out the gate. Then YouTube is like, oh, you said high swearing? Well, the advertisers aren't going to like that, and advertisers hate swearing on YouTube. It's probably the #1 metric right now, don't quote me on that, for getting stuff demonetized. Swearing and any sort of violence, which is why gaming is getting absolutely crushed, because there's just so much violence in games. Most video games have a lot of violence in them. Most of the popular games on YouTube have a lot of violence in them. So that's why like 50% of my Happy Wheels videos are all demonetized. Probably more than that, actually. So that's another reason why Happy Wheels just kind of died off after that, because it just gets demonetized immediately now, so no one wants to play it anymore. It doesn't really bring in the numbers that it used to, because when you get demonetized and advertisers aren't pushing, or advertisers aren't going on your videos, and then YouTube doesn't really want to push that because it's not making as much money off of it. So having to self-rate all of my videos, then when I push that out, somebody manually goes in and checks it. But I think how it works, because I haven't gotten any clarification on this from YouTube, because none of us ever really do, is that I think the start of the video matters more, because that's where ads get played. And I think if you start off the video with like, sup cunts, then obviously advertisers aren't going to want that, because they don't want something followed be like, hey, buy our super wholesome product, and then sup cunts comes in right after that. They don't want that, which I absolutely get. If I was a business, I wouldn't want that either. I mean, technically I am a business, but if I was a business selling a product like that, I wouldn't want that. So, to answer a very easy question in a super long way, it's very strict on swearing. We don't know to what levels it goes to, whether it's... Obviously, me swearing in a video means a lot. Thankfully, I don't get demonetized all that often for... knock on wood. I don't get demonetized all that often for the swearing that I do in my videos, and I do a lot of swearing. I have gotten demonetized for swearing, and I have done a little experiment a while ago when like tabs came out, where I tried not swearing or swearing a lot less for like 2 weeks. It didn't make a difference. At least not any sort of noticeable difference on my end for metrics. But I have seen a lot of people try different things to get around swearing. If you do like... that doesn't matter. YouTube now censors. So this is a universal thing for like, oh, that's a swear word. So YouTube goes against that and says like, oh, you're swearing a lot here, even though you're censoring it out. We get what you're implying. And they demonetize that now. So you can't even do the stereotypical swear in any videos anymore. So that's why you'll see some people just either cut out swearing completely or just edit around it. So it's so obnoxious, and we don't know to what level it goes, whether it's just us swearing in the video, swearing in the title is not allowed, even putting like little stars in the title probably isn't allowed anymore. Maybe even fan-submitted subtitles are checked now for swearing, because it's hard to determine if I say fuck or feck, because accents can say things in different ways. But in the subtitles it'll say fuck, and then maybe YouTube's like, oh, we get it, okay, demonetized. Or if swearing a lot in the comments is going to get you demonetized. We don't know. So it's so weird. And obviously YouTube can't give out YouTube can't give the keys to the kingdom, because as soon as they say, yes, we check swearing in all these categories, because then everyone's like, okay, got it, and then they try and game the system, which YouTube doesn't want you to do, because then its algorithm falls apart. It's an absolute mess. I don't know I don't think YouTube's trying to kill itself, Turquoise. I think it's trying to make itself better all the time. It's just, it's fighting an uphill battle. Because whenever it gets stuff right, then something else comes up and it's trying to battle all of that, and they have to break a bunch of other things to fix this one thing. And their number one thing to keep on the site is advertisers, and trying to keep advertisers happy is really hard. And then trying to keep content creators happy is really hard, because most content creators just want their videos to do well and make a lot of money. Obviously, that's why a lot of people make their videos. So they can't just please everybody, so they're trying their best to meet a happy middle. And it kind of sucks when everyone's like, oh my god, you're rounding up sub numbers, but you're not fixing the advertising problem. It's like, yeah, you realize YouTube don't have one team working on absolutely everything. They have an advertising team, they have a general UI team, they have a general social team, they have a bunch of different teams working on a bunch of different reasons. So, not to like defend YouTube or anything, but it just gets frustrating when it's this like YouTube versus creators all the time, because I don't feel like it's fixing anything. I feel like it's a lot of like, meh, I want my thing to be fixed. Why are you doing this other thing? Oh, hey, Ross. Yeah, animation and reply girls got hit hard with a lot of the changes a while back. And now gamers are getting hit. Us gamers are the most oppressed people on YouTube right now. They're feeling the brunt of an algorithm change now. So, I mean, this is what YouTube is. YouTube's a business. People who do YouTube as their job, you're running a business. It's naive to kind of sit back and just want YouTube to buckle under and do everything that you want it to do, because it's businesses all working together trying to make your platform work. And some stuff I feel like, yes, YouTube is doing wrong, and it would be better to have more clarification on a lot of different matters. But at the same time, you're running a business. You kind of have to adapt to what's going on YouTube as well. Some people adapt better than others. Some people just don't want to adapt and fit in their happy middle. Me personally, I could completely change my type of content to go with what YouTube prefers more now, but I like video games too much. I like still playing them, so I feel like I'm kind of riding this happy middle where I can do kind of non-gaming stuff, but keep my gaming stuff going at the same time, and keep myself happy and keep you guys happy.
What do you mean?
But a lot of channels are getting affected unfairly, and I feel like some people do have some valid good points to make. And it would be nice if YouTube kind of listened a bit more in that regard and talked to us a bit more. Because at the end of the day, like I said, we're still running businesses as well, but to have the people who are changing the business model for your business not talk to you is kind of ridiculous. It would be like working in a company, well, no, this is a bad analogy, but like working in a company and having the higher ups change something, but then not tell the people who are working in the office, so to speak. That's a bad analogy, but you know what I mean. So, a lot of people get very stressed out doing YouTube. They get very frustrated because they don't know what's working. They don't know what to do. They're still doing what's working for them 1 year, then completely changes and doesn't work at all anymore. And then they start to question, well, do I suck? Or is YouTube punishing me? But having no clarification on anything makes them feel even worse. And then audiences see numbers go down because of that, and then the audience start seeing it. It's a really weird mental perception thing as well, because when audiences see numbers go down, then they start to think, oh, this person isn't as cool as I thought they were. And then they start questioning like, no, you suck now, because your numbers are not as high as they were anymore. And some people get it, but a lot of people don't. And then they start seeing that, and then they move on to somebody else whose numbers are going up. Because there's a lot of viewers out there who view content in that kind of regard. And then the person who's making the content then feels even worse. And then they make a lot of different changes to the content to try and abide by what the audience wants. So there's a lot of people like chasing their tails all the time. And I feel like some people fall down that rabbit hole and get really lost in it. and just kind of lose themselves and don't really know what their channel is anymore, or don't really know what their content should be anymore. And I'm kind of guilty of that, doing it a bit last year. I feel like when I went down to 1 video a day, obviously like numbers dropped because I'm just not uploading the sheer fucking insane volume of content that YouTube wanted. I was uploading like 14 videos a week, was just completely halved. And in YouTube's algorithm, that's a lot less eyeballs, so it pushes you less, and then the people who are watching you because you're the new hip happening thing, they kind of fall off. So, man, there's so much to it that I don't think audiences really get, and I mean, you don't really need to get either. Because I think a good YouTuber will also just kind of adapt and move and keep things fun and interesting. But it's interesting to talk about, I think. Because this is the type of stuff that doesn't really fit into my regular content, so where would I ever talk about it? Anyway, moving on. That's what YouTube is. Shax, thank you for the $5. Love you, my boy. Thank you, that's really sweet. Oh, we're back to this song again. You can talk about it here. Yeah, streams are like a stream of consciousness, pun intended. Would you clone yourself? I don't know, would I? People always think that, like, if I clone myself, I could get so much more done. But there's a really weird ethics thing about cloning. Would it actually be me? Because if you literally cloned yourself, right down to your DNA and your thought patterns, then you thinking that you're the original, even though you know the other one is a clone, but the other one would be like, yeah, I'm a clone, but I'm valid as well. So the relationships you have, would they be with you or would they be with the other version? Could you split it between you? Would your... Because people change all the time. Every 3 years you like become... 3 to 5 years you kind of become a different person. So would you change? Would you stay the same person forever? I don't think so. I think you'd both turn into completely... You'd turn into completely different people. It'd be cool to hang out with yourself because you would get yourself more than anybody else. But sometimes people end up getting annoyed by the traits they get annoyed by their own traits that they see in other people. Like in terms of projection. Hey, Kingfisher Claw, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Like in therapy, when you hear people talk about projecting your problems onto other people and then not liking those people because you project yourself onto them, would you do that with yourself? Because yourself has all the same flaws and everything as yourself, so it's really weird. Those flaws you hate about yourself, would you hate the other clone of yourself for having those exact same flaws? Would you even be able to stand them? Or would you like them because they finally understand the flaws that you have that you don't verbalize to everybody else? It's fascinating. Your clone would go rogue and try to kill you and take over your life. That's one way of looking at it too. That's the movie version. That's the fun version. Aura Bros, thank you for the Prime sub. Critical Cat, thank you for the 16 months. Stranger Things 3 opinions? Well, it's not out yet. I'm excited for it though. When does it come out? This week? Thursday? Oh, it's 4th of July, yeah. You know, 4th of July. The spooky sci-fi time of year. T. Elizabeth, thank you for the tier 1 sub. And Joel Michelson for the 5 months. Mr. X, thank you for the Prime sub. Okay, I need to change this fucking music. It's driving me insane right now. It's not chill. Oh! It's like the thing, you know when you work out and you listen to intense music so you feel like you can work out harder because the music's more intense? I mean, you can. There's actual studies done to show that that's a thing. Just because the beat and the pace and the energy of it. I feel like that's what was happening with that music. I feel like I was just like, and then YouTube did this, and then there's the demonetization, and then all this shit. I feel like Charlie Day in like that thing where he's like looking at the board being like, you see my theories? I have enough energy. I have enough of that energy in my regular videos. The streams are supposed to be a chill time. I was going a little crazy with that music. Yeah, I didn't realize how fucking... I mean, don't get me wrong, it's great music, but I feel like it was kind of drilling into my brain. Your hair isn't green, you better not have lied to us. I didn't lie. I just don't know when I'm doing it. You and MatPat should collab. I'd love to. Matthew Pathru is great. I just know what I don't know what we would do. But I've always got along with Matt whenever I met him in real life. I mean, online as well, but we just don't interact ever really online. But I have a lot of respect for what he does. He might be at VidCon, actually. I could hang out with him there. The last time I saw him was at the Game Awards last year. He was doing, I don't know who he was working with, but he was doing like the red carpet thing, going in, interviewing people. And I kind of ran into him there, but I couldn't stop. Ah, he is going to VidCon. That's good. Thank you, Tarnished. I kind of like stopped and talked to him, but they hushed me along very quickly. Hannah, thank you again for the 100 bits. My dad's with me right now and he says, hey, he also really loves your Mario Maker videos. Thank you. Oh, I really like that. That's really sweet. Tell him I said hi. Zach in Black, thank you for the $5. I'm a poor person, but thanks for making life a little bit better. Oh, if you're poor, you shouldn't be donating money to me. But thank you, that's so sweet. I appreciate it. Please play Silly Face. I'm gonna call the 5th chapter Silly Face. It's not out yet though. White tape on chair. Oh, it was a joke I did for the green screen when I was recording tabs. Because I kept doing a thing where I was like, is it a real background or is it a fake background? Because I used to trick people with the green screen up and just have a picture on in the background. And then people were like, we know it's fake background because we can see the green screen in the chair. And I was like, fine. Little detectives. So I'd put this on just for a bit of fun. I see green now. I know, it's ruined! Please play more Prop Hunt with PewDiePie. Maybe we should go back to regular Prop Hunt. The Fortnite one was fun, but it just doesn't have the same feel. There's something lovable about the shitty, broken nature of the Gmod Prop Hunt. Favorite casual game right now? Zelly, I just finished Metro Exodus in my spare time. I played it for like the last 4 days. I played it for like 6 hours 2 nights ago, and it was just so nice. Because I picked it up a while ago when it came out, and I was like, I'm not really that into it, and I didn't really have time for it. And I just sat down recently, and I was like, I'm just gonna play. And it was really fun. Really good game. And it's nice to have a game for myself where I could just I just sat in here with the lights off and played it on my computer. You and Pewds hanging out puts a smile on my face. Doesn't matter the rest of the content, just friendship. Thanks. I'm glad people like those videos. He came over and we're like, we should record something for my channel and your channel. And then we were here and we were like, what the fuck do we do? Should we go on Reddit? And then just knocking around ideas was like, oh, let's just... I just came back from the gym, by the way, so I'm all messy. I haven't had a chance to take a shower yet, but if I took a shower, then I don't know. I kind of wanted to just stream. You're seeing me in all my dirt. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, he came over and we just shot the shit and we were just talking normally and dicking around, and it was like, maybe we should just record this. And that's kind of what it ended up being. Did you know the Kindergarten 2 is coming out in July? I did. It was supposed to come out at the end of June, but I think the developer had some pressing personal issues to deal with, so they pushed the release date to the end of July, which is absolutely fine by me. And I hope that they're doing better right now. Everyone keeps telling me, like, Jack, Kindergarten 2 is out, you should play it. I'm like, no, the developer just gave MatPat early access to the demo. Nugget is so excited to be back. I don't even know if Nugget's in the next one. I just know I know Kindergarten 2 is coming out, so I just want to play it. Arlena, thank you for the 1,000 bits. I want to audition for America's Got Talent to sing my heart out and represent the community, but I often doubt that I'd make it, and my family's telling me not to do it and just basically give up and focus on reality. What do you think I should do? What have you possibly got to lose? Sure, you might not like make it to a final or a TV presentation of it, because you go through a lot of screening for it, but who cares? Just do it. Have fun. Make a day out of it. Stand around, go in, sing your absolute heart out. Sing like it's the last thing that you're ever going to be doing, and give it your absolute all. And then if it doesn't go anywhere, that's fine. You tried. You can try again. At least you had the balls to do it. And if you make it further, then wonderful. Then you get to progress, and then you get validated in the thing that you wanted to do. So, have fun. I feel like we're listening to like a record, and it's just like. Do you use TikTok? I do not. Bonercast? Bonercast wasn't even ever really a thing. Bonercast was a joke that me and Bob made up playing Ghost Recon Wildlands. I think it was that. And then the next episode of Prop Hunt we just started talking about what it would be like to have like a radio show, like calling into the Bonercast. And then everyone was like, okay, this is the Bonercast now. It literally never went any further than that. Do you have 90 minutes? I might. Still working on that documentary, by the way. I know people have been asking for it. There's so much footage, though. Tucker's been going through it and chopping down. I've seen some of it. I've seen some of, like, the best sections of it. Because Tucker had, like, 40 hours of footage, or even more by the end of it. And he had to chop down it into the best bits that he thought would be, because it's a constant process of like chopping down, paring back. And there's so much usable content that we're having a hard time figuring out, okay, what do we only put into this? So I've seen some of it and it looks really good, but we just have to figure out what it is. We love Tucker. I love Tucker too. He's one of the most talented people I've ever met. And you'll see his work on full display when the documentary comes out. You've seen some of his work already. Through some of the pictures I uploaded. God, I have like a spider bite on the back of my neck and it's just like a big lump now. It's so annoying. Anything fun coming up? The documentary's one thing. I have, like, I'm doing a trip to LA for VidCon, I guess. That's gonna be fun. But in regards to what you guys will see, I'm hoping to record some stuff with some people while I'm there. I do have other stuff that I want to do, but I mean, I can't talk about that yet. That's still way off, and it's a huge idea that I want to do. And I don't want to, like, I don't want to count my cold ones before I crack them open with the boys. Bright Swim, thank you for the 13 months. 13 months, that's a whole 6 years. PAX West this year? Yeah. I will definitely be going to PAX West. I'm going to PAX West and I have a brand new cosplay for it, which I am so excited about because it looks awesome. How was it meeting Spider-Man? It was wonderful. It was so much fun. Oh yeah, I didn't really talk about that. No, it's weird. I don't want to gush about these things too much because then I'm like, what if the people I interviewed think that that sounds really pathetic? But they're honestly some of the coolest things I've ever gotten to do doing YouTube. Like the Chris and Tessa one was awesome. The Jason Momoa one, I don't look back on as fondly because I was super excited about it, but I feel like I kind of dropped the ball with it. I don't know, I don't think the questions were that interesting. And he was kind of in a prickly mood, and I don't think I caught him at the right time, and I asked the question of like his career and where he came from and stuff like that, and he made it sound like I wanted him to just do the interview for me, and then he just ended up talking a lot, and then the people in the background were like, okay, wrap it up, and I was like, shit, I ruined it. So that one didn't go as good as I had hoped, but he also didn't seem like he was in the best of moods. He had just come off doing the morning shows in England, and it was 10 a.m. So he'd been up for a while, and I was the first interview on the press junket, so he wasn't like loosened up and in like some sort of mood or anything. He was still kind of groggy from waking up and everything, so it was a little weird. But the Chris and Tessa one, going into it, I was like, after the Jason one, I was like, okay, hopefully this one goes better. And then the other people who were interviewing them, because you go into they all happen in this like one area, and then there's a bunch of rooms, and all some bigger press people like that have actual news outlets and everything have rooms dedicated to them, and the celebrities go in there. But for people like me, we're like a revolving circuit, so the celebrities stay in one room, and then you all sit outside, kind of like waiting to go in for like an oral exam for school, and then somebody else comes out, and then you go in, and then another person comes in and sits next to you, and then you kind of come in and out like that. So it's a very well-oiled machine. So some people come in and then it's like, okay, how were they? Were they nice? As people are like, yeah, they seem in a decent mood with Chris and Tessa. I was like, okay, good. And then I was sitting outside waiting to go in, and somebody else was going in, and they opened up the door, and I got to peek in, and I saw Chris and Tessa sitting down. I was like, okay, I have them in my head now, so I know what they look like in real life. Because there's that moment of like, when you see them in real life for the first time, your mind kind of goes through this process of like, oh, that's how they look like in real life. Oh, they're so cool looking. And then you're like, oh, wait, speak. Oh, hi. And then you kind of forget all the questions that you're supposed to ask. So doing that kind of like parsed it in my mind. I was like, okay, that's what they look like. Okay, focus. And then one of the people who works at Sony, like one of the higher ups of Sony who was there, came by and were like, my daughter watches your videos, so could we get a picture together? And I was like, that's a nice little like boost to my confidence before I went in. And then I sat down, and when I was walking in, one of the ladies who was like setting it all up, who was like, okay, Sean, time to come in. You could hear Chris go, Shawnee boy. And I was like, oh. And then when I sat down, it didn't make the cut in the interview because they start rolling after a certain period. So when I get in, I like to actually converse with them before the cameras roll, just to kind of ease the atmosphere, to get a feel for them, get a feel for like boundaries and social kind of interactions a bit, and then ease my own like rhythms a small bit. And I sat down, and Chris said hello immediately, and then Tessa said hi to me, and then I can't remember what we ended up. I think Chris just asked where I was from because he could sense that I had an accent. And then I said Ireland. He goes, oh, Ireland. I have a friend that's from, what did he call it? he was like, he called it Stab City, and I was like, oh, Limerick. I went to college there. Limerick's where I went to college for music production, and it's nicknamed Stab City because there's a lot of knife crime in Limerick and a lot of gangs. But then I told a story about how I walked home drunk one night because... Okay, I'll go off on a tangent and tell this story. I broke up with my Irish girlfriend years and years ago when I was like 20, I think. We'd been dating from when I was 16 to 20. It was like the first serious relationship I ever had. And then we broke up and we kind of wanted to get back together, and I thought we were going to get back together, and then we went out and I had too many drinks and she was like, no, I don't really want to be with you anymore. This was after we had broken up, and I was like, fine, and I stormed off like a little child. Very different person back then. And I just walked home. I walked like 2 or 3 miles home at like 2 a.m. on my own. Didn't tell my friends I was going. I did the classic stereotypical Irish goodbye. Really drunk. And in a town called Stab City, you don't really want to do that. But, I mean, it was fine. It's only Stab City if you actually do something wrong. If you're just minding your own business, it's fine. But, anyway, back to the interview. We did that, and then they were like, okay, cameras are rolling, and that's why the video, if you go back and watch the videos again, it's like, oh, great start. Because I had told that story, and then like, oh, cameras are rolling, and then it was like, oh, this is a weird juxtaposition to now suddenly have to do an interview. And then, basically, everything that's in the videos is everything that's in that section. So there's no like cut content. There's no cut questions or anything. And all the questions are things that I come up with myself. They give you like a guideline being like, okay, you can have movie and career questions. With Ryan, when I did that one, they were like, it was just like general conversation, but keep it movie focused. So I had a bit more leeway to actually ask him about himself, and because he had followed me on Twitter and everything, and he kind of knew who I was. I'm not saying any of this stuff to like brag or anything, by the way, which is why it's so weird to talk about. I'm just contextualizing things, and it's so fun, and I want to talk about it. But he, that's why I was able to talk more about life in general with him. And then with Chris and Tessa, they're like movie and career focus. So I kind of asked Chris about his career because I watched him in Home and Away. Tessa I've only learned about in the last few years, like watching Westworld and the Avengers movies and everything. But we kind of got talking in that regard. And then at the end of it, when I was leaving, it's not in the thing either, because it's such a hard cutoff. You get in and they're like, okay, you have 10 minutes, go. And what you can't see is that I'm sitting there and I'm like talking to them, but over at the side, there's a lady going like, being like, okay, you have 3 minutes or like 3 questions left, which is like a question a minute usually. She's like, okay. And then when you ask another question, then sometimes it's like, okay, now you only have 1 because that one went on a while. And then you can see her just going like, to be like, okay, wrap it up. So you're constantly like seeing that out of the corner of your eye. And then when I finished the interview, cameras just cut. It's like, okay, cut, here's your SD cards, go. But when I was leaving, I was like, okay, nice to meet you guys, okay, see you later. And then Chris turned to Tessa, he was like, I think that's the best interview we've done. And I was like, yay! And I was so excited, and I was like, that was one that I feel like, fuck yeah, that went so well, that I feel like I nailed that one. I feel like we had a good bond. Chris and Tessa have just such a nice bubbly energy to them, and they're just so lovable. That's fun, and they just seemed like they were having fun anyway. So I like that. And then, so the same thing for like the Tom one, and I almost got to interview Jake Gyllenhaal as well. When I was going initially, they were like, I knew about doing the interview like 2 months in advance. I was doing a stream here or on, yeah, it might have been here, and I said something along the lines of, oh, something really exciting just got confirmed. And it was my manager, Nicole, texting me being like, Tom Holland interview confirmed, by the way. And I was just like, ugh! But I couldn't say anything about it. I probably could have, but it's kind of fun to leave it until right before. You don't want to like tease it out too much and be your own hype man for too long, because then it just kind of gets annoying. But for that one, they had initially said it was Tom, and then they were like, maybe Jake Gyllenhaal as well. And I was like, Jake as well? He's like in my top 5 favorite actors too. And I was so excited. And then before that, it was like 2 days before, they're like, okay, it's going to be Tom, Zendaya, and Jacob. And I was like, okay, it would have been cool to meet Tom just one-on-one, but I absolutely get it. I still really wanted to meet the others too. And then Jake and Samuel L. Jackson were doing the interviews together as well. So they were really strapped for time. And then Jake got caught in traffic. So he was late to all of his own interviews. He was like 10, 15 minutes late. And then because you're on such a circuit, we were behind schedule. So my interview was supposed to be like 15 minutes and it got cut to 10. So there's a lot of stuff like that that just happens and you just kind of have to roll with the punches and like get your questions down. And for that interview, they were like, you need just movie questions. I'm sure I could go against the grain and be like, so Tom, you're confirmed for the Uncharted movie. How do you feel about that? But you also don't want to be a dick and have the people like catch Tom off guard and be like, oh, I thought we were only talking about Spider-Man. Okay. And then leave the other two out. And then the Sony people are like, fuck, he wasn't supposed to ask that kind of thing. Like, you don't know where the boundaries are. So it's just like, okay, just ask movie questions. But super, super fun to do. One of those things that I never thought I'd be able to do doing YouTube stuff. And mainly because I'm not like, if I do movie reviews or something, then I get it, because then it makes sense. But it's all springboarding off that one with Ryan, which was an absolute fluke. And it was miraculous that happened, and I got so lucky. And I'm so grateful that happened, because then after that they were like, oh, okay, now I was on people's radars, and now I'm getting more offers to do other things. I almost got to do Keanu Reeves for John Wick 3 at the start of May. And I was so sad that didn't go through. They told me like 4 or 5 days before that it wasn't going to happen. And I was so upset. That would have been so much fun. Could you imagine? It would have been at the start of May, I would have gotten to do Keanu Reeves, end of May, start of June, Chris and Tessa, and then the end of June it was Tom, Zendaya, and Jacob. That would have been so cool. And then the Keanu Reeves memes popped up and I was like, oh! I almost met him before that happened, before E3. But sadly, it wasn't to be in the cards. And they don't really tell you why it doesn't happen, but whatever. I'm still glad that I was put into consideration for it. I'm still glad that I was on somebody's radar for that, even if I didn't get to do it. But that would have been awesome. Keanu Reeves is another one that, because I've always liked Keanu Reeves. It's a meme to kind of like Keanu Reeves now, but I've always loved Keanu Reeves since I was a child, watching him in Point Break. And me, Felix Martia, and Evelyn watched The Matrix recently. Super fun. We were just sitting and be like, Keanu! Lauren, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Favorite game to voice act? Oh, I don't know. The Monster Prom stuff was fun, because that was a day I went into the booth with Adam. Oh, I feel bad now if I got his name wrong. I'm pretty sure it's Adam. It's one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's Adam. You're like, wait, now that I have to get it right, is it Adam? And then Christina V, who's also in the game, and then a bunch of other stuff. Miraculous Ladybug. She was like, they were directing me in the booth, so that was the first time I ever got to do like a booth recording. Most of every other one I've done here. Jesus, I have a bunch of messages. Jesus Christ. I've had a bunch of other ones that I've done them all here in my own space, which is probably not the best idea. It's convenient to do it this way, but you don't have anyone being like, okay, try it a little bit differently, or can you give us like da 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 da, and say, but what you did was da 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 da, if you know what I mean. So being for the Monster Prom stuff was fun because they were giving like feedback on that, so I feel like I got those a bit better. And then doing some of them, they were like, for like Calculester, it was like on the sheet, it was like less than 3, like the love heart emoji thing, and they were like, whatever you think a robot would sound like doing that, what would that be? Just spitball anything. And I was like, what the fuck would that be? So one of them, I was just like, less than 3. Because it would show up on his face. And it's just so funny to me to hear, or to think that the robot knew the symbol meant like a term of affection, but didn't know how to verbalize it. So it would just go, less than 3. And then, yeah, the ooh-woo one came out of that. I just went, ooh-woo. And then everyone in the recording booth laughed at it. And I was like, okay, that's a good one then. Because I've always watched, since I had the internet, I've always watched behind the scenes videos of voice actors and seen them in booths and done like little off takes and everything. I'm like, oh, that's fun. And then I was in there and I was doing it and it didn't even cross my mind, but I was doing shit like that and people in the background laughed and I was like, oh, I got my moment. I got one of those moments. And I'm glad that they made it into the game. And it was the same with Tfuel the eel. Because it was the same kind of thing. Is that his name? Did I just get my own character's name wrong? He was fun to do as well because they were like, how would you do a cute sound? So I was like, and things like that. And then it was like, kawaii desu ne. And then they all laughed at that and they put it in as well. And then they're like, we need him to sound evil. And I could have gone with like, yes, comrade. But I did this really stupid, over-the-top, almost Soldier 76 voice where it was like, yes, comrade! And to me, it was just so over-the-top, and they were like, love it. Because it was such a juxtaposition to be like, kawaii desu ne, comrade! The mer people are rising! I really like that. Good use of range. Orange Italian, thank you for the Prime sub. Sorry, I haven't been reading chat or Streamlabs stuff often. I've just been fucking ranting. Cute sounds equals soft anti-laugh. It's not a soft anti-laugh, that's... I had a character in my head that I was doing. But I don't know who it is. And then the vacation simulator voice lines. That was fun to do, but I feel like I kind of rushed some of those lines. Because they needed them done in a time frame, and I think I was prepping for PAX East. And there was a shit ton of lines, and I was like, you have to give like... Well, you don't have to. If you can nail the first take, then go for it. But I don't think any voice actor would do that. You do like 2 or 3, 5 takes of each line. And with so many different lines, I was here for like an hour and a half recording the lines, and I was like, fuck. I kind of need to get back to work and everything, and I don't feel like they represented my best work. Boondock Element, thank you for the 5 subs. And again, that comes from being here on my own doing it, so I don't have them telling me what their vision is. And they were like, we'll process the robot's voice afterwards, so don't try and talk like a robot. But also you need to leave gaps for like, oh, I see you found abominable snowbot. Let me look at that. So they told you to leave a gap for that word, because that was the word that was going to get really put through a modulator to be like, abominable snowbot. So in that regard, it was a different type of thing for me to do, so I didn't really know how to do it. And in my head, I was like, oh, it has to be monotone, and they'll pitch shift it up and down to sound like a robot. But then I heard the other characters in the game afterwards, after it was done, I was like, wait, I didn't need to be monotone. Why was I monotone? So some of my lines came out sounding a little shittier than I wanted them to, but it's a learning process. Sean Flynn was really fun to do as well. I don't know what he be talking about. None of that crap be selling. What is the line? None of that mess be selling. I've watched the video as well of other YouTubers reacting to my voice in the game, which is super fun. Bendy and the Ink Machine voice actors. I'm a voice actor, guys. Oh my god. Is there timestamps for any of this? There we go. Wait.
I don't be seeing what the big deal is.
I don't be seeing what the big deal is.
So what if I went and painted some of those bendy dolls with a crooked smile?
So what if I went and painted some of those bendy dolls with a crooked smile? I liked it because you could just kind of lean into the Irish accent a lot more. And the guy who's making the game, when he sent me the voice lines, he sent me him doing kind of the accent that he wanted, and he was even like, sorry for the really shitty Irish accent. And I was like, oh, I can't wait to hear this. And he did the same kind of thing. I probably still have it, but I don't know if I should show it without him giving consent. Even though he'd probably be fine with it. But it was fun to kind of lean into the accent a small bit. I don't know what Mr. Drew be flying off the handle about. So what if I painted some of those bendy dolls with a crooked smile? So what? Yeah, you have to put the H before the W. And you have to say it as a H, not H, H. Sometimes I find myself saying certain words differently now, and it kind of makes me sad that some of my accent is gone. Because I'm just surrounded by so much American accents. Like, a lot of the shows and movies I consume are all American. A lot of the YouTubers I consume are American. Even the people who don't speak English as their native language, when they speak English well, their accent comes out as American. Like, even Evelyn's accent and Felix's accent are more Americanized. Which is fine, because that's just, again, same thing as me. It's like they're just surrounded by all of that. So I think it kind of just rubbed off on me. And then when I started off doing YouTube, I started trying to, the classic story of trying to force a different voice because I didn't think anyone would like mine. I didn't even like my own. And then when I was dating someone from Korea, my Irish accent was really, you couldn't understand it for certain words. So like saying think and tree is just confusing to anybody whose first language is not English. So trees. It's like, wait, what? So I started saying 3 trees. So I started really pronouncing the TH sound, which is completely antithetical. See, I do it now. Antithetical to Irish accents. Whenever you want to hear an Irish person speaking an Irish accent, you get them to say 33 and a third. So it's 33 and a third. I'm just going to say your accent is really charming to me. Well, that's because you guys haven't been to Ireland. Or been around actual Irish accents. When I went back to Ireland again, I was surrounded by them and I was like, yeah. Even Evelyn was like, when she heard like my brother speak, or any of my family, hello hair. She was like, okay, yeah, your accent is not that strong. Because my brother's is still pretty strong, and my family's, of course, still living in Ireland, is really damn strong. And when I went back to Ireland for the tour, I was walking around like the Dublin campus where the show was at the Helix, and I was like, alright bud, oh, huge fan. I was like, oh, my accent is not strong at all. Question for you, do you actually speak Gaelic, Sean? I do not, Sindark. Not... The majority of Ireland doesn't. There are large communities that still do, which is fantastic, but it's not a very usable language because it doesn't translate really beyond Ireland. It's cool to be able to speak it, and it's cool to keep our heritage and our roots, but when it comes to practicality, it has very little use. So... like in a worldwide kind of sense. So it's kind of getting lost a small bit. So you learn it in school. Like when I go through school, you actually learn Irish. And everyone's always like, wait, Irish is an actual language? It's like, yes. We're from Ireland. We speak Irish originally. The Irish Gaelic Celtic language. It's just called Irish. So you learn it in school the same way I would learn French, but none of it really stuck. Because again, I didn't have any use for it. Same reason French didn't stick, because I didn't have any use for it outside of my classroom. You can find a use for it, but as a teenager, I didn't want to do that. Some people in Ireland then, for summer, go to something called a Gaeltacht, which is it's like an Irish summer camp, basically, and you go and you only speak Irish there. So it's a good excuse to like put it into use. And then some other friends go and you kind of do some fun summer camp kind of activities and do some fun Irish kind of things. And for some people that helps them. I was just lost in thought, guys, that's all. Some people get better use out of Irish that way and they learn it a lot more going there. I had a girl in my class that was really, really smart. Like that stereotypical student who is just amazing at all their subjects, but is still liked by everybody and has a great social life, and you're like, how do you do that? But she was just really, really smart, and she really took her learning seriously, and she had really great brain wired for learning, and she was great. Really nice person. So she was fluent in Irish, and it was always really impressive. Every school has one of those students, yeah. I had 2 people in my class like that. A guy and a girl. And I was like, you motherfuckers. And then the guy as well, I remember for the longest time, I thought he was gay. And lots of people in our class thought he was gay. And I guess shame on us, because it was just that like stereotypical kind of like homosexual vibes, like the super flamboyant kind of stuff, which obviously isn't what all gay people are like, but that was where our minds were going as teenagers. And then one time we went off on a summer camp or a summer trip to like Germany, to like Cologne and places, and we were sitting around and he was like, guys, did you see such and such in the swimming pool earlier today? Her boobs are massive. And he was like really into it. We were like, okay. It was so funny. Because we all had this like unfounded perception in our heads of who this guy was, and then he completely shattered them to us. It's like, okay, cool. Also, just a delightful person. Really, really nice person. And he was so good at every subject we did. Especially French. French was the one that really made them shine, because most of the rest of us were really struggling with French. I was okay at it. I wasn't really putting in the hard graft, but they were just flying through it. And that to me was like, that was the moment where I just like kind of looked up and went like, okay, yeah, you know what you're doing. And then I had a close friend as well, who, if any of you entered the show, you'd know my friend Porig, who had the Pokemon Red from the show. Any of you who don't know, you'll see it in the documentary probably. But Porig was really good at maths. So he had a really good brain for maths. Other stuff, he was just really smart. He was the smartest like close friend I had growing up. And he was really good at other subjects as well, like physics and stuff. But maths was where he really shined. Shun? Oh. Yeah. And then he went on to do like a computer science course in college, and now I think he works for a branch of EA in Ireland. Shreya, thank you for the 5,000 bits! Hey Sean, my parents and I want to take a vacation in Ireland later on in the summer. Do you have any advice for us? Go to Dublin first, I guess, because that's where you're going to land. And kind of see the places around there, see like Temple Bar, the colleges and stuff that are there. Dublin to me is not, everyone always wants to go there because it's the capital, so they think all the Irish stuff is there. But to really get there's a lot of historical Irish stuff there, like Book of Kells, Molly Malone shit, all that kind of stuff. But if you really want to go, like, see what Ireland is really like, summertime in Galway is bananas. So Galway is just a great place to go anyway, so go West Coast. West Coast, it's like the further west you go, is the more Irish it gets. Kind of middle to west is where you start getting real Ireland, because that's where stuff gets a little more rural, gets a little more rustic. There's a lot more of the like pub culture and the kind of friendly neighborhood culture that a lot of people would associate with Ireland. Dublin's just a bit too modernized to really have that like stereotypical vibe of Ireland. Whereas the further west you go and go down that coast, west from Galway down to Kerry, that kind of place, so you get to see the cliffs, you get to see the ocean, you get to see some of the really nice greenery that Ireland has to offer. Some really nice monastic sites, some good castles and shit are all over there. Mayo has a nice castle there. I think Ashford Castle is in Mayo. And it's also built up enough that you're not just in the fucking arse end of nowhere. If you go to like Wexford or Tipperary, it's like, sure, you get a really good sense of what Irish culture's like, but you also have fucking nothing to do. You go and it's like, oh, let's talk about hurling in Tipperary, I guess. And go to the pub. It's like, okay, what else can we do? Let's go fucking look at cows and sheep in a field. And go talk to Bridie down the way. Sorry, I have an itchy nose because the fucking beard hairs, mustache hairs are going in and tickling my nose taint. The tape's coming off. I mean, I don't do the green screen joke anymore, so the tape should come off. Fleet Street, thank you for the 16 months. It's Bella Troilo. Thank you for the 4 months. How long have I been streaming? An hour and 25 minutes. Holy God. Galway Girl by Ed Sheeran ruined the word Galway for me. That song fucking sucks. I'm sorry. Even as an Ed Sheeran song, that song fucking sucks. That's a crap Ed Sheeran song. Some of the other stuff is better, but that one felt super low effort. And there's already a song called Galway Girl. From Ireland. Sang by Mundy. Look up Mundy, Galway Girl. And then Ed Sheeran's one is like a super poppy kind of thing, like fell in love with a Galway girl. It's like, oh, good for you, Ed. I just don't know why that song exists. Did he actually fall in love with a Galway girl? Is he bastardizing my culture? I'll fucking come for Ed with my floppy rubber dick. I'll slap him. I'll slap the ginger out of him. Not all of us can be Galway girl, Ed. I don't think you want to be a Galway girl. I don't know if many Galway girls are actually that great. Does Galway have an accent? Now that I think about it. Usually the only reason people like Irish people is because of our accents. And we're friendly. I don't know if Galway people have an accent. His family's Irish? So he's bastardizing his own family. Got it. I mean, if you like the song, fine. I just really can't stand that song. It's so droning and monotonous to me. Which is not to say I don't like Ed Sheeran. He has some really good songs. I like a lot of Ed Sheeran songs. More of his recent stuff I don't really like. Oh, see you later, Cammy. Oh yeah, it's 1:30 for you. Thanks for hanging out. Irish accents are my favorite. Oh, you haven't heard true Irish accents. You've heard stereotypical Irish accents. If you want to hear an Irish accent, let's pull up the... Who are they? The Cork lads from... Was it the Olympics? Oh god, I can't even think. I'm just gonna search Cork lads at Olympics. There they are. The O'Donovan brothers. If you want to hear a real fucking Irish accent, listen to this shit.
Hi lads, how are things?
What's the crack?
Hi lads, how are things? What's the crack?
Hi lads, how are things?
What's the crack?
We're in Rio.
Yeah.
The background might look superimposed, but it's very real.
The background might look superimposed, but 'tis very real. Jesus. That's so Irish, and they're from Cork. So everything's like, hi, bye. How's it going? I'm from Cork. You doing well? Is it sure just the back row may look... I'll do that now whenever I pull up the grease here. It's like, the back row may look superimposed, but it is very real now. Oh.
Okay, yeah.
Certainly.
That's all there.
Lads, listen, Paul, what has the last few hours been like for you?
And that the presenter is from Dublin, but his accent's a little lessened. It's like, so what have the last few hours been like for you? You. It's like Seamus from Harry Potter. He has a Dublin accent. Everyone knows he's Irish, but the dialect and the accent is from Dublin. So it's like, I'm a dub. How's it going?
I've been shook enough now, to be honest, since the racing. I'm a bit tired now and the legs are like jelly, but
Oh, should be shook enough now after that happened. Shook enough. I will... It'll be hard pressed to find a culture that has more slang terms than Irish people. We have so many fucking ways of saying the most benign shit. Shook enough. He's looking fierce shook now. Do you see Tommy down in the pub last night? He's fierce old now, isn't he? Yeah, he's looking fierce shook. Just means like, you're a little rattled. You're a little shaken up. You're shook. You're shook enough now. See, Irish people have been saying lit and shook way before the internet got a hold of them. And unit. Those three things are, I'm gonna die on this hill and say that they were originated in Ireland. Because us Irish people have always said like, geez, a fucking absolute unit of a lad over there. Did you see Brady down in the pub last night? Fucking unit. The head in your one. And then Irish people were like, keep her going now, keep her lit. And now the internet's like, oh, lit. It's like, nah, I fucking ruined it. Even though I do the internet version more than the Irish version from now on. And then saying shook. I'm shooketh. I should just, I'm fierce tired now after the run. The legs are like jelly. Is this the one where he says I go get a bit of steak?
Yeah, I suppose we did a bit of celebrating and did the podium thing and got to put on the podium pants as well, so that was quite nice. And
nice.
Saw the mother and the father and the other people and took
the mother and the father. Sure, you know what? The mother and the father came over and she took an old picture with them. Sounded Jamaican. How fucking dare you? You insulting my culture. The mother and the father and the brother.
few pictures and that, and then I had to go and do this doping control thing, so I was there for an hour or two trying to take a pee then into a cup for them, so I
had to do the doping control thing and I had to go take a pee in a cup for them. Oh, why am I not using this for the funniest home videos? Fuck!
After about 10 litres of water as well, so
10 litres?
It's full up now, to be honest.
Full as a bus now.
It's a great crack though, anyway.
Yeah, he's been busy there. I was running around having a great time signing photographs and autographs and taking pictures, and it was all well and good, you know.
It's all well and good, you know. He's been off, you know, bucket throwing, flying, you know, Shave Bullock. He's off been signing and doing autographs. Oh, God. Even, this is one of those accents, by the way, that even Irish people are going like, oh, Lord of mercy. For sure, cheers, lads, you're doing us well. You're doing us proud over there in Rio. Sure, in Rio now.
We're fairly tired now. We haven't had a bite to eat since 2 hours after the weigh-in. We had a bread roll with some Nutella. And I'm fairly hungry now, but I believe they're on their way with some pizzas for us. I suppose we haven't had much time to think about it. You know, there's been a bit of a circus since we finished the race. But you know, we're just taking it all in and trying to enjoy it the best we can at the minute.
Minute. That's a really Irish thing to do. Is to add like an SH sound, kind of to tease. So it's like, instead of liter or butter, you say butter. And liter. Liter. It's a hard thing to do, and that's where a lot of Irish accents in movies and stuff kind of fall apart. Because some people will be like, oh, it sounds decent. But then Irish people will be like, no. They sound semi-drunk. Well, most Irish people are, just all the time. Hold on. I'm getting... Somebody needs my assistance. Boom. Irish drink beer to sober up. I mean, it's the best cure for a hangover. Oh, don't you read the chat more? I am reading the chat. I mean, I don't get to every single message. You should have Robin try to do an Irish accent. He would hate that. Robin hates any of that dance monkey stuff. It would also be turned into a meme, and Robin absolutely hates memes as well. It's my favorite holiday. Christmas. Christmas is the best. Where's your favorite place to eat? I don't know. Different things for different reasons. Like, getting to eat like Domino's late at night watching a movie is just so fucking good, especially after like 2 glasses of wine or something. It's like, oh, Domino's. Get some pepperoni pizza and slice on some goat cheese on there. Oh. What mic am I using right now? It's so clear. A Sennheiser MKH416. If you go to my setup video, it should be a pinned comment there, and I think I talked about it in the video as well. It's also not just the mic, it's my filters as well. I have a lot of filters to make sure that it sounds more like my videos. Domino's is only good at night. Never have I heard truer words spoken. Will you open your own Discord? I have my own Discord. But only select people I've gotten in so far. Because I can't do just an open link. Because it'll just break Discord. You'll have people coming in constantly all the time. So I've put it out on Tumblr a bunch of times. I put it out on Twitter a while back. So I'll open it up to more people going forward. I might open it up to like Twitch subs or Twitch followers or something. I don't know. I don't know if you can do followers, but maybe subs, because I'm trying to not open up the floodgates all at once and just let in people. I want to let in everybody. I'm not trying to hold it away from people. It's just if I let in everybody, it'll break. And then people will come in and the mods can't deal with it then, and they'll all start... People will come in and just start posting like racist shit or like homophobic shit or stuff like that that's not tolerable. And it's hard to weed through that if everybody's in at once, and then everybody joining voice chats all at the same time. We had it even when I opened it up to Twitter. We had like 6,000 members show up all at once. And some people were getting into chats and just kind of like screaming at each other to be like, ha ha ha, I'm 14 and I like making people uncomfortable. It's already a shitstorm as it is. No, it's not. The Discord's been running fucking great. The mods are kicking ass on that Discord. And it's calmed down a lot since then. You keep it pretty clean, so good job. All the mods. The mods deserve all the credit for that. I had it set up pretty well at the beginning. I kind of modeled it after Evelyn's one. Because she had a really good one set up. And she sat down and walked me through it to show me like, okay, this is what this means and this means and this means. To make sure that once I opened it, I couldn't be like added by everybody, or people couldn't like kick me out of the server and rule it themselves. Different things like that. So I did that, and then the mods came in and they were like, okay, well maybe we should change this around and that around and just make it a little more, this is like, because some people modded other servers or they were in giant servers, so the mods did a great job on it. Gab does have a really well run server. She does. Her servers, her community is just delightful. Server's a good time. It is McCory. McCory's one of our resident mods. She's one of the mods on the Discord who's just there all the time. Anytime anything needs to happen, McCory's there. And she kicks ass. So thank you. We appreciate McCory. You're a lovely person. Damn! Beck, thank you for the 12 months. A whole gosh dang year. Finally been able to catch a stream because time zones. I hope you've been well. Aw. Yeah, it kind of sucks that you Aussies kind of miss out and stuff all the time. I'm sorry. I still appreciate you guys. I hope you still like my videos. It's always one of my worries that the people, especially people who I recognize in the community now. There's so many people, and I'm sorry that I can't recognize everybody, but some people have been here for so long, and your names pop up all the time. You've always interacted with me on Tumblr and Twitter, and I just start to recognize names and faces. So like some people I'm on a first name basis with, and one of my fears is that someday I'll realize that they're not there anymore, and then I'll like source them out and they'll be like, I don't watch Jack anymore because he sucks now. And that shit breaks my heart. I've seen that a lot in the last like 8 months. I'm like, oh man. And then you start doubting yourself and you're like, have I really changed that much? I mean, I know I've changed, but for some people I'm like, man, you used to really like me. And I really valued your opinion and respected you, and now if you don't like me, That's kind of sad. And then some people sadly fall privy to like idle gossip. There's been a lot of gossip about me over the last 9 months since the breakup. That none of it is true. And I can't address any of it because, well, I don't want to, first of all. And I kind of want to let sleeping dogs lie as well, but I just wish some people wouldn't be so swayed by vague comments that have no evidence to them. But, again, I don't really want... people like that who are so easily swayed anyway and just completely turn against you, it's that thing where it's like, do I really need them in the community anyway? Some people have, like, very valid criticisms. And some people's opinions who I highly respect. Like, if any of the mods came to me and said, like, we're not too sure about this thing, obviously I'd pay more attention to it. Not to say that a lot of you who say stuff in comments and stuff don't have valid criticisms, but it's like the people who I know are not just saying it to bring me down. So it's not that I'm not receptive to criticism, it's just... Oh, Evelyn! Thank you for the raid! That's sweet. I hope you had a fun stream. Just chatting? Hell yeah. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying that whenever you hear... Because you hear stuff all the time, like, oh, you suck, you've changed, you used to be better before, like, all that stuff, I get it. Sometimes it does get you down a little more because you find yourself in a funk, and then hearing other people say that, you kind of start believing it about yourself. If you hear enough lies about yourself, you almost start believing them. And that's when it becomes a problem. Because then you start doubting everything you're doing. And I definitely fell privy to that last year. And I think that that's had a knock-on effect on the content, because I feel like I started second-guessing everything I was doing. Because I'm like, well, how are... Every sentence I said in a video, I was like, well, how will the audience respond to that? Is that okay? Is it okay if I say that? And I was like, I don't like that person. I don't like being that. I'd rather speak my mind than do this at all. So I got a little better at that. But... when you hear enough of those things over and over and over again, then when somebody actually has valid criticism, sometimes you get a bit more defensive about it, because you're in that mode of trying to like brush it off. And then when valid criticism comes in, sometimes I have like a knee-jerk reaction to it, which I don't want to, but it feels like to some people, because your comment is one comment isolated in the vacuum bubble of your own mind. But that's not what it is to me, because it's in a sea of everybody else saying similar things sometimes. It's like when you make a stupid mistake in a video, it's like, oh man, how the fuck did I miss that? Or somebody in the comments is like, Jack, you know you could have done this. Like even the Mario Maker thing recently, I was on one of the levels where I was like, man, I don't know how to fucking do this. And then I just stopped the level and people were like, Jack, oh no, this is a better one. I called a spring a switch for like 4 minutes straight. And I watched back and I was like, why was I calling a spring a switch? I think the level was called switch or something. I was like, man, why did I call it a switch? Somebody in the comments said it and I was like, wait, really? And I was like, I wrote like, why did I call it a switch, lol? Like completely accepting that. But then all the comments after that, because nobody sees my reply, and then all the comments are just like, Jack, you fucking idiot. It's a spring, not a switch. And that's like, it's silly, but hearing enough of them is like, okay, I don't want to read the comments anymore. It's not even that it's negative, it's just that it's that like incessant wave of the same thing coming at you all the time. And then whenever anything has anything that's valid in it then kind of gets lost, because you're just in like, you're in shutdown mode because you just don't want to have to deal with it. So at the end of the day, I'm still a person. So most times this stuff doesn't get to me, but again, if you find yourself in a bad mood one day, which we often do, I wake up and I'm like, I'm not fucking recording today. I don't care. I don't want to do it. I'm not in the right mood. I don't want to deal with anybody. We all have those days. But you have to remember that when you're commenting in a sea of people. You're not just one comment on its own. So if somebody retaliates in a certain way, if some creator retaliates in a certain way, that you're like, man, don't be such a dick about it. I was just trying to tell you what you did. It's like, okay, well, I'm sorry. Just please try and meet me halfway and realize where I'm coming from. But if you're yelling at me and then I end up yelling back and we just meet in the middle for nothing. So, I feel like a lot of that got in my head for a while. Because I was also doubting myself and not pushing as hard as I knew I could. And I wasn't really just getting my shit together. That when you hear other people say it, then you kind of like, again, it goes back to that projecting thing where I kind of lashed out at some people online. And then that in turn kind of changes you and moves your content in a certain way because it just chips at you. But thankfully, I think I'm back in a better place now. There was a few months where I was like, oh, okay, what are we doing? Jackie, you okay? Are you okay there, buddy? And I'm like, guys, I don't know. Because part of it is that thing as well where, because I stopped uploading just insane amounts of content, that I started pulling back on the channel a small bit, and then like numbers go down. I'm like, yeah, I knew that would happen. Like numbers basically halved overnight because it was half the content. But then when it's other people being like, man, your channel fucking sucks now. It's dying. It's not as cool as it used to be. Just because the numbers are lower and that without factoring in anything else, then that in my head is kind of like, man, do I suck now? And then you end up trying too hard in your videos, which is just not a good look either. So some of my least best work in recent months is probably a factor because of that. But I feel like I'm getting back to a better mindset where I'm just not constantly in my head when I'm recording. I mean, it even got to a point where hiring Robin completely changed my mentality towards my recordings. And to me, sometimes in a worse way. The edits are fantastic. The edits are great. Robin's a great editor. But it was that case of having somebody else look at the content before it went out. Because before I would like do stuff, and if I did something stupid, I'd be like, man, that was stupid. I don't want people to see that. And I would edit it out. And now I can tell Robin to do it, but then I'm like, man, Robin's going to see me be stupid now. So it's kind of in the back of my head every time I'm recording that he's going to see it as well, which is not good. And he doesn't give a shit. Like Robin's the editor. He will do what I ask him to do. Because at the end of the day, what we want to do together is make the best video we can for you guys to watch. But it's just that thing in the back of my head. I'm too much of a people pleaser that I don't want people to see me be the things that I don't like about myself, basically. I'm number 10 on trending, am I? Trending's for gaming? Let me see. Is it Trover? It's 14 for me, see? Trending's weird, because trending's different for everybody. There's no like one trending, well there is one trending tab, but it's based on regions. Like when I go visit Evelyn in the Netherlands, all the videos I get are all like Dutch YouTubers. I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. It's still all Fortnite though. Am I watching anime right now? I'm watching Chill Beats to Study too. We love the direction you're going though. Thank you. I feel like it's one of those weird periods. I think after 5 years of doing YouTube, every YouTuber goes through that. If you ride the same wave, because for me it was like, yeah, this is fun. Oh shit, it exploded. Now everyone's paying attention to it. And again, I don't like saying this because it sounds like I'm bragging, but I want to like contextualize the amount of like change that was in it. In like 2016, it was one of the most viewed channels on the entirety of YouTube, and it was in like the top 10, if not the top 5 growing channels of like 2016. Because it just fucking exploded. So having all those eyeballs on me all at once was suddenly like, okay, just make the content and don't think about it. And then after like 5 years, you kind of ride that wave, and then everyone's like, okay, what else you got? And I'm also like, yeah, what else do I got? And then you reach this weird transition period where you're like, okay, what are we doing?
Sorry, I can't do that right now.
Shut up, Siri. Because you want to You want to progress stuff, you want to keep evolving, you reach kind of this happy... After 5 years, I feel like YouTubers, if you keep doing the same thing, you haven't mastered your craft, but you've kind of gotten to this point where you know how to do it so efficiently that it almost becomes monotonous and mundane and boring, so you want to change it up. She says she's sorry, Jack. She's sorry because she couldn't do the thing that I didn't want her to do in the first place. Brag, who gives a fuck? Bragging and gloating and showing off is not a good look. I'm proud of what I've done. And in that regard, I like talking about it. But I don't ever want it to sound like I think I'm better than other YouTubers just because I've done this one thing. I don't like rubbing things in people's faces. Because I don't like it when other people do that. Dude, with all the feedback you get constantly, you're amazing and humble and stay true to yourself very well. That makes me happy, thank you. I would like to think that I've stayed pretty damn down to earth in the midst of everything. Not to toot my own horn again. See, there I go. I can't praise myself. I can't take compliments. I can't boast about the things I'm doing. I even had a problem with it doing... For like the charity streams, I got to a point when everyone was like, are you really just profiting off mental health with the PMA stuff? But it was that thing where the PMA stuff has never come to me. It's all gone towards the charities anyway, like the PMA merch. But I never actually said that because I didn't want to grandstand and be like, hey guys, look how great I am. I'm so awesome because I donate all of the merch sales to charity. So... Humility is a very good trait in people, I think. And again, grandstanding is just not something that I want to do. But sometimes you really have to spell shit out for the people on the internet to really make them get it. Be more like Mark, big ass ego. No, thank you. You've had ups and downs, but still going to stick around. Because it's moving too fast. Because I know you always get better, even when you have those moments. Also, lots of people will, so don't worry about what the internet says. I appreciate that, thank you. And I try not to. I mean, I do every now and then, because I think everybody does. I mean, that's where you get your feedback on your stuff, but... I try to look at it a lot less. I don't say... Or I don't like stay on like Twitter all day anymore. And I don't stay on YouTube looking at the comments all day anymore. Because I like my off time now. Me and Evelyn go into town every now and then. We go work out for like an hour every day. The weather's been really nice lately, so we kind of just sit around and read or watch TV or go to the movies and stuff like that. Go out for dinner. We love us a good restaurant dinner with a good glass of red wine. Oh, mama. Evelyn, can you come back? I miss you. I'm so lonely. Ew, red wine? You'll get there. That was me when I was like... that was me in like... Until I was like 24. I was like, oh, red wine. Give me white wine instead, please. And then... Suddenly, 24 to 26, I was like, hey, red wine's great. I can't drink white wine anymore. It's too sweet for me. I've become that person. I've become old. We're definitely ordering pizza on Monday, right? Unless we're doing dinner with the movie that night. We could do dinner. You've become ancient TM. I'm an old man! I'm like a grandmother. German white wine is so good. I don't know, I like a good dry wine. Have you read anything interesting lately? I've been reading... God, almost there. Please stand up. It's a new day, watch! I met my stand goal yesterday. I burned like 1,200 calories today. Yesterday. Leave me alone. I've been reading the War of the Worlds, which is really fun. It's a really easy read too. I don't get a lot of time to read, but I mean, I could make more time to read, but I've been catching up on some games. Hey, what's up, Kira? But reading's nice. I got an e-reader. I wanted to get. I was in the Netherlands, visiting Evelyn, and I was like, "Can we go to the Media Markt? As you can tell, my Dutch is flawless. But I wanted to go in there because I wanted to get an e-reader, and I was going to get whatever the best Kindle was, which apparently is the Kindle Oasis, but they didn't have any. So I got a Kobo Forma, which is almost identically the same thing. And it just completely revolutionized the way I read. Because if you're like me and you're ADD out the fucking ass, me sitting down and reading a book, I'm like, I like read 2 pages and I'm like, man, how many pages are left in the chapter? And I'm like, God, there's so much book left. And I always get defeated by how slow I'm going. So an e-reader's great because it's just a flat piece. I can read it at my own pace. And then at the bottom, it's like 1 out of 15 pages read. Because it does it by like chapters, which is so much better for me because I feel like it's way more digestible. And then if I read like 10 pages, 15 pages, 20 pages, if you read a certain amount, it has like a little algorithm that determines how long it's going to take you to finish that book. So it's like 10% read, 15 hours to go. Which I think is wonderful, because then I'm like, okay, if I can just commit 15 hours during like this month to read this book, I'm done. And then I'll have read a book. Which is what Felix told me as well. He was like, just sit down and read like a certain amount of pages. Sit down and read 10 pages every day. Sit down and read 20 pages every day. That's how I get through books. And it's really helped. So I highly recommend it. Some of the higher end ones are kind of expensive. Like that one I think was over 200. But some of the like paper Kindles, you can get them for fairly cheap now. Please look at chat now, Jack. I've been looking at chat the entire time. Just do a video of you reading. I don't know how that would possibly work. Do it like Robin's April Fools and just do a dramatic reading. Didn't he do like a dramatic reading and then he sat down and actually read a chapter but time-lapsed it? It was fun. Am I a fan of Rage Against the Machine? Hell yeah! Rage Against the Machine is what I was listening to in the gym recently. What's your favorite book that you've read recently? Well, I haven't read many recently. War of the Worlds is the only one that I've been reading recently. But my favorite book that I've ever read is The Shining. Reading vlogs are popular in the booktube community. Well, you say popular in the booktube community, but is the booktube community popular? Because I didn't even know that that was a thing. Bedtime story. I'm not reading a bedtime story. You're not my kids. Evelyn is me. Thank you for the 200 bits. You're amazing and I love you. Wow, thanks. And another 100 bits underneath that. I've watched you since Happy Wheels days and I still love you. Oh, thanks. So much love going around. Lauren, thank you for the 100 bits. What other music is in your workout playlist? Gojira. Tfuel. The Spider-Verse soundtrack, the Black Panther soundtrack, Damn by Kendrick Lamar, some Vince Staples, some Logic. I have a bunch of different stuff depending on what I'm feeling. Depending on how pumped you want to get. Today I was listening to My Brother and Me while I worked out. Because I'm not one of those people that like needs energetic music to work out. Like I can fucking work even with nothing on, so... sometimes it's a good chance to catch up on like podcasts and stuff. Recently I listened to the entire Maynard James Keenan, Joe Rogan podcast. He's the singer for Tfuel. After I went to see them, it's like a 3-hour podcast. So I broke it up over multiple. It was like on the way back from Amsterdam, from seeing the show, I was listening to it, and then over multiple workouts, and then I listened to the Elon Musk one as well. Because I'd always known the memes from that one, but I never actually listened to what he was saying. It was fun. AI versus reality podcasts are good. Sounds good. I listened to the... Is it the Night Vale ones for a while? Wasn't really my thing. I like what they're doing. Welcome to Night Vale. But I don't know. Corey Monks, thank you for the 100 bits. You've been a huge inspiration to me throughout the years, been around for a while, and just became active in the community. Keep up the great work. Thank you. That's really sweet. I appreciate you. Dark Nohart, thank you for the 100 bits. Hey, Jackie, what's up? Stacey, thank you for the 100 bits. Saw someone else in chat ask, so I thought I'd try and ask if you're going to Twitch London this weekend. I did not even know that that was happening, so no. I have to prep for LA for VidCon. VidCon's in a week. Yikeroo. And I'm going to be there for like 11, 12 days. And Evelyn's coming! Wow! It's going to be fun. Got a lot of meetings that I have to do. A lot of people that I have to meet. Doing VidCon stuff. And then I want to hang out with friends. Nolan asked me up to his house again. Like last time. I want to do that if he's in town. Wasn't VidCon the one that's memed the shit out of? VidCon has a pretty bad reputation for getting shit wrong. And I've had kind of a lackluster experience with them the only time I've gone. But that was also part of my own fault because I went last minute and I had nothing going on. So I had like no panels, I had no meet and greets, nothing like that. So this time we actually planned them out. So it should be more fun. My problem was that VidCon has nothing to see. It's like an e-celeb con, and if you don't meet your favorite influencers, then it's just boring as all hell because there's nothing to see on the floor. At least with PAX, you have like games that you can see and developers you can talk to and like cool merch and pins and board games and D&D shit. But it's like TwitchCon. Yeah, TwitchCon has the same problem where there's just not a whole lot to do for the people going. So maybe VidCon has changed in that regard, but I feel like I have more to do there now. So I'm not just going to be... Because VidCon also, I can't walk the floor like I can at PAX. They just don't allow it. Siri, what the hell did I tell you? So I want to... Maybe this time it'll be more fun because I won't just be hiding behind a curtain while everybody else does stuff. I was kind of just hanging around doing nothing. And they're like, okay, you can walk the floor now. And then I did, and I was like, is that it? Yeah, I can't get to all the bits and messages and everything, I'm sorry. Nova Elite, thank you for the Prime sub. Because as soon as I start reading them, more and more of them come in. Which is super sweet, don't get me wrong. I'm appreciative of them. It's just I feel like then I'll be reading them all the time and not actually interacting with chat. VidCon and its online content creators. Hashtag influencer. Arlena, thank you for the 1,000 bits. I saw you mentioned that some people have moved on and I'm guilty, but that doesn't change the many times that you saved me and made me happy. I'm glad you're doing good. Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't mind people moving on from me. I'm not trying to guilt trip people into constantly watching my content. That wasn't the point I was trying to get across. It's that the people who used to watch a lot that I really recognize and then have bad experiences and stuff to say about the channel now, that's where it gets to me. See you later, Kia. Kia. See you later, Kira. Or it's that culture of, because I come from an earlier time on YouTube where stan culture was super big. Like really just getting so ingrained with YouTubers and their lives and their interactions and everything. And shipping people together and everything was just the thing to do. Because it was new and it was fresh still. But then people ended up getting really, really involved with the YouTubers. And that was great, but then it hit a tipping point where when stuff started to change, then people get to that point. It's the same with every single culture of any people who are fans of anything. It's stan culture, where you love something, you adore it, you find this one thing. Undertale's a good example of it, where you love it, you're into it, fuck yeah, everything's amazing, love this community. And then suddenly it's like, it balloons up, and then you're like, okay, and then you get a little wary about it because your nice, neat little secret thing that you loved is not really secret anymore. Then other people start coming in, then it starts getting memed, and it starts getting a bit too big for its own boots, and then it's not really what you wanted anymore, and then instead of leaving it, some people leave it, but the true stans of that culture then end up trying to destroy it, because it's like, I love it, oh shit, I can't have it anymore, now I must destroy it. If I can't have it, then nobody can. Which is ridiculous, because everybody can have it. You just don't have it to the degree that you did. And this it happens in phases with YouTubers. It happened with me a while back when the channel started off, and then it exploded a lot from like the shout out and everything. And then a lot of people started saying that the channel sucked now because it was too big. Because some people are only fans of YouTubers because that YouTuber is able to interact more with the community. It's the only reason. And then when you're not able to do that so much anymore, a lot of people fell off because I wasn't able to get to every single person anymore because it was just growing so far beyond my reach that then they left and they just find a smaller YouTuber then who is able to fulfill that need. I mean, which is fine. You do you. But you see a lot of that over time, so it's... Again, I have no problems with people moving on from the content. Everything changes, you either change with it, or you just change against it, and you don't like it anymore. There's plenty of YouTubers I've watched that I don't watch anymore. Plenty of TV shows that I just don't like anymore. But at the same time, it's when you stay in it and you try and destroy it for other people, or you try and convert other people to hating it, that's when you're the problem, and not the YouTuber. Because even if the YouTuber changes, and you don't like that anymore, who cares? Just move on. Unless they're killing kittens or molesting children or something fucking horrible, there's no point trying to destroy them. Just move on. Live your life. Be happy. There's too much time wasted and too much energy wasted trying to destroy things that you don't like anymore. Instead of just living your life and being happy. Yes, cancel culture. Oh my god. It's disgusting. Bit of a fascinating concept that as an audience has grown up, your style evolves and grows with them to the point they may not, in a lot of cases, grow out of you, like with something like Minecraft content. Yeah. And I think that's the kind of transition period that this community is kind of in right now, where we're still trying to shake off the like green hair Happy Wheels side of things, because that's when the channel was most prominent. That was when the big boom happened. That was the most talked about thing, the biggest thing on the channel at the time. And then you float up, a bubble gets put around you. That's what you are. That's what everybody in the community sees you as, because that's what the big thing that you're doing right now is. Again, this is fine. This is what happens to everybody. It was the same with Felix when he started off. Boom! Amnesia. That's who you are. You're the Amnesia gamer. You're the screamy Let's Player. And then you just float along for a while. And then everyone's like, this is great. Let's keep pushing air underneath this bubble and let it float. And then suddenly they're like, man, this bubble's not doing anything great anymore. And then they kind of push a little less. And then they're like, what else can this fucking bubble do, man? And then the bubble pops. And then you fall back down. And some people either fall and they keep falling and then they hit the bottom and they don't get out of that. Or, again, using Felix as an example, the bubble pops. Your channel goes down. He was in a weird transition period as well where he stopped gaming. He did it with a hard cut. That was just like, okay, not gaming anymore. Fuck it. And I have a lot of respect for that in some ways. I kind of got out of watching his content at that point. But now I watch more probably than I've ever watched. And then the bubble pops, you fall. But then he didn't hit bottom. He kind of floated on the surface. And then suddenly he found his way again. He found a new bubble. He shook off the shackles of the amnesia gamer, found a new bubble, and then everyone's like, ooh, yes, blow that bubble up in the air again. Woo, that's fun. And now he's something different, and that's great. And for me, I feel like we're in that kind of like, yeah, what are we doing? Kind of phase where, not to say, well, bubbles popping is probably not a good way of saying it. Maybe the bubbles just kind of sink. But there's that transition period I feel like a lot of YouTubers go through, where you either stay being the exact same thing, keep the exact same audience and have no growth, or you grow, evolve, try and change things. People will either keep pushing you up and giving you that wind under your sails that you need and grow with you, but you also need to evolve your content and move out of what you were. And for this channel, we're still trying to break that perception of Happy Wheels green hair. It's brushing off now. A lot of people are starting to get like, oh, he's different now. Maybe that's a reason why I did the beard. Well, I've always wanted to do the beard longer. Maybe that's why I did the hair longer and everything, because it's just such a dramatic change. And I'm like, you can't say that I have green hair now because it's just completely different. It's not even just green hair anymore. It's long hair. I don't even look like the same person I did a year ago. So maybe that was like a subconscious kind of thing. Making that change, but picking the wrong time to change is killer. That's also very true. Some people can strike the iron right when it's hot, or sometimes you can constantly be striking at the wrong time. But you also can't let it defeat you, and you have to keep pushing through it. It's a hard thing to do. A lot of YouTubers and a lot of streamers and a lot of people online fall victim to that, and that's where the burnout comes in. That's why you heard a lot of people talk about burnout, because we hit this period where a lot of YouTubers who were rising together at the same time suddenly hit that 5-year period. And then there's kind of an urban legend about viral and trendy things having a 5-year shelf life, and after that they change and they dip and something else comes along. Some things are an anomaly, like Minecraft, which is never going to die. But a lot of things do, so YouTubers kind of fall into that as well, and some people just let that get to them and defeat them, and they just stop creating because they find something else that's outside of YouTube to do. It's weird. It's fascinating though. I love talking about it because there's so much to unpack in it. But you can't unpack it to general audiences because it just becomes boring. There's a certain point where there's just too much to unpack. So you need like the MatPats to hyper condense the gaming thing that's been happening on YouTube and put it into concise formats and be like, okay, that he said what I wanted to say way better than I could have said it. It was the same with the Article 13 stuff. I was like, I don't really know enough about it, but he knows a lot about it, so I'm going to drive people to his video. And at the end of the day, YouTubers and streamers and everybody, they're single people running entire businesses. There's some businesses out there that don't even have a fraction of the reach that some of the social media stars would be, that they have. But yet, some of those people are running it entirely on their own with like 1 or 2 people, and then these other people, other businesses that have even less reach, have hundreds of people that are working for them. So it gets to a point in a business where you're supposed to like do the business, figure it out, get really good at it, and then you delegate to other people. But as YouTubers, you are the business. You're the product, you're the business, you're the brand, you're the thing that's getting marketed. Everything is based around you. Your personality is a product. So you can't delegate yourself to other people. And then people end up not knowing what to do, and then they end up boxing each other to millions of people. Shreya, thank you for the 5,000 bits again. That's really generous. Or are these the same bits from before? It didn't replenish. I'm going to write my final essay in one of my classes about you, this community, and other YouTubers who have saved my life, just like you have. Thank you so much for everything, Sean. You're one of the reasons why I'm still here. Love you. That's so sweet. I'm glad you said I'm one of the reasons and not the reason, because a lot of people say that. And I'm like, no, I'm not. It's great that people like my content, and it's great that it can cheer people up when they're feeling sad. But there's absolutely no fucking way that the screamy Irishman has had as much an impact on you to keep you here on this planet. I don't think any YouTuber could, because that is some insane internal strength and courage to keep going. So that's all on you. I'm just that thing that makes you giggle every now and then. It's hard to be the brand when you're not feeling great mentally, etc. Respect for doing it all these years. Aw, thanks, Sinnoh. Also, hi. That's very sweet. It is one of those things that day to day doing this is not that hard. Like, the type of content that I make it's really not that hard. It's the sheer volume of it that's hard. Doing it for, it'll be 6 years at the end of this year. And that was like 34 to 3,600 videos back to back every day, non-stop, just constant grinding. And it's that monotony that can get inside your head, that wiggle worm. And then you just kind of get burnt out on it and you just have no energy for it anymore. And it gets to the point where people are like, I'm just waiting for you to find that spark again. For some people, it's impossible to even find that spark again, because it's just so... If you're not doing it still in a fun way for the right reasons, it just gets soul crushing and you just can't. You can't bring yourself, because if you're putting on a face, if you're putting on a facade and only doing it for the wrong reasons, then, not to say that, when I say that, I'm not saying like doing it for money or doing it for fame. Those could drive you. Those could be motivating factors. And if they are, great. Do what you gotta do. But if it's like, if you're doing it for fun, and then you start doing it for money, then it starts to become a problem, because you're not doing it for the reason that you started off doing it. You gotta keep it fun for yourself. You gotta keep it fresh. You just gotta keep it going. Otherwise it's gonna beat you. C-Shack, thank you for the Prime sub. Ava, thank you for the 100 bits. I love how the community has our inside jokes, and when you stream, it's like a family coming together to hang out. Yeah, it is fun. It's another reason why Twitch is also fun to do these types of streams, because it's less people, but it's a different kind of atmosphere. People on Twitch are a lot more chill, because you get what a live stream is. Whenever I do a live stream on YouTube, everyone's like, "What? This is so boring. When's the editing happening?" And that's what you're doing now, making time for yourself. Exactly. Because personal life matters more. I said this in the missed messages video, that who you are on the inside and what your brain is thinking about yourself first is way more important than what anybody else in your entire life, especially on the internet, is ever going to say about you. Whatever fucking noob dickless 1337 on YouTube says, like, your videos suck and you're gay and you should die. That's never going to matter more than what you think about yourself. And their opinion, no matter what you do, even if you completely conform to what they want, somebody else is not going to like it. So what's in here is way more important than whatever is out there, which is completely obvious, but I don't think enough people realize it. Or, I guess that makes it not obvious, but you know what I mean. More people are just not saying it. Sometimes you need to say it out loud to really, like, get it into your head. Sometimes I say it over and over again to remind myself. Ava, thank you for the 15 months. Jesus. 15 months. Wow. Thank you. Again, more people that I've met Ava going to, like, so many PAXs, and that's why I know them by first name at this point. So it's always nice to see, like, it's kind of like a weird validation to be like, okay, I haven't completely fucked it all up if they're still around. You might not watch every single one of my videos anymore, but at least you're still around, and I appreciate that. Big McLarge, thank you for the 3 months. Zevry, thank you for the Prime sub. Tricky Extreme, thank you for the 100 bits. And Beatles Chick, thank you for the 100 bits. I've only been watching your channel for a few months, but I just want to say I appreciate you, stay awesome. That's still wild to me. That people, I mean, obviously the channel's still growing and there's more subscribers coming in every day, but it's still weird to me that people can still only find you a few months ago. Cause we've been in this. We've been in this beach for a long time. DT Hayward, thank you for the Prime sub. Aixon, thank you for the 200 bits. You can't get rid of our annoying asses. You guys are not annoying. You guys are great. Go to bed, Stinky. No. You can't tell me what to do. Fuck you. You're not my dad. I'm sorry I yelled at you. I didn't. I meant to say I'm sorry I swore at you. I did a swore! Whenever me and Felix hang out now, it's like, we played board games at this pub recently, and then it was like, I did a move and I was like, fuck you, I'm doing this, and he just looked at me and goes, swore! So it's become our thing now. I got it from him because he said it in a video. Is that a challenge to be more annoying? Hold up a minute. No. Did the pub demonetize you? I really don't get demonetized all that often for swearing. Everyone's always talking about like, oh, we had to edit videos now. We had to edit out the swears because we keep getting demonetized for it. And I'm like, really? I mean, I get demonetized like maybe once every 2 months for swearing. I usually get demonetized for the violence in the games. Some of the Layers of Fear episodes got demonetized for violence. There's like other games that were way, like Gorn got incredibly demonetized for Felix. And only one of mine did. And that's really, really violent. YouTube aren't watching, by the way. They're not going to demonetize now. We're on Twitch, bitch. Demonetized for the Irish for swearing is racism. I told you, yeah, it is. Put it in the swore jar. Yeah, we were joking that the demonetization is just like a little swear jar for YouTube, and they're rattling those little coins. The little coins that they get out of us swearing for demonetizing the video is like, haha, got your fucking swear jar money. Dashington, thank you for the 100 bits. I haven't been here for as long as others, but it's a nice bit of validation being remembered. It's a win-win situation. Absolutely. Soft boy hours. We're on Twitch, fuckers. Plays top 40 music and watches Vine compilations. I'm just gonna sit here and I'm gonna watch an entire movie while I sit here and eat my chicken Alfredo. That's what Twitch is, right? We're in the just chatting section. Maybe I'll get up and play Just Dance in a crop top and shorts. Dark No Heart, thank you for the 100 bits. Thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077 and Keanu Reeves. You're breathtaking. I'm very excited about it. Charlie watches full movies when he's chatting. Charlie watches full episodes of stuff when he's chatting. We need to clamp down on those moist cheeks. When will you appear or do TikTok? Like, when will I appear on TikTok? When there's a united Ireland. Never. Why would I make TikToks? I have enough trouble finding the time to make the shit for YouTube that I do. Please don't. You don't have to worry. I might look at TikToks, but I'm not gonna do TikToks. I got invited to the TikTok after party for VidCon. I was like, okay, I'm not on TikTok. I think they wanted to sponsor a video for a brand deal one time, and I was trying to figure out a way of putting it in, and I was like, I don't know how I'd make this work. And then they invited me to the after party at VidCon. I'm like, okay. And then they're like, what's your TikTok handle for like RSVPing? And I'm like, Jacksepticeye? I was like, I don't have one. And I was like, are you bringing a +1? I was like, yes. And then they're like, what's their TikTok handle? Must be a TikTok person. And I'm like, man, I'm not even on TikTok. So fucking weird. So I was like, girl gamer Gab? I was like, I guess I'm a TikToker now. No content. Best TikToker ever. I'm like one of those channels that's like, can we reach 10,000 subscribers with no content? Mad Lad Jacob, thank you for the 100 bits. You've been one of my biggest inspirations for the past 3 years and you continue to inspire me every day. Keep doing what you're doing. Thanks, man. Thank you, Mad Lad. I appreciate it. TikTok is knockoff Vine. I mean, for a lot of people it filled the void. It filled that space. I think it's worse. I think it gives too many options. Vine worked because it had limits. Necessity is the mother of all invention. Is that the term? TikTok is just like, oh, now you can react to other people's content. And then my least favorite TikToks are the people who do something like kind of cringy and then somebody else reacts to it and is like, TikTok is for really cool shit, not this cringy garbage, and they're pointing to the person on the side. I'm like, you are 5 times cringier than the person who you're reacting to. It's like, you're the problem, not the person just creating dumb shit for the internet. People creating dumb shit for the internet is what people do. It's like people shitting on kids for Fortnite dancing. I'm like, oh, of course they Fortnite dance. Fortnite dance is hugely popular and the dances in it are a huge part of it. Even I want to do Fortnite dances every now and then. Stop shitting on kids for doing something that you would have done as a kid. You did worse shit. You fucking played Pogs. What was a weird thing that we did as kids? I say we. Most people here are way younger than me. Who else here is almost in the like 25 to 30 year old bracket? Back in like early 90s. What did we do? The Macarena? Oh yeah. Cinnamon challenge? That's not a fucking thing from years gone. That's still an internet era thing. I'm talking like pre-internet. Tamagotchis? I mean, we had our things, but I mean the thing that we did that other people didn't. Or not that other people didn't, I'm getting confused. Don't spam your fucking ages. Just give me the information I want. You're not allowed to spam your ages on Twitch. Because you could get banned if you're not of the right age. Don't spam your ages. Even as a joke. You can't do it. If you joke being like, I'm 8, you could get in trouble for that. I think we could get in trouble for that. Don't do it. I meant people who were in the same age bracket, raise your hand and give me an example of cringy shit we did that all the adults were like. Tamagotchis don't count, because that was like a thing we just did on our own. I'm talking about like a Fortnite dance where everyone has to look at us doing it. We're not as old as you, Grandpa. Beck with the fucking name Old Yeller. You're just a fucking wannabe old person. Electric chair? Oh, we did shit like the cha-cha slide. Ooh. Naruto running? Nah, that's still around. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. There's probably more dances like that we were doing. That shit's come back around though. This shit is dope now. You ever been at a wedding? Being at Wade and Molly's wedding, there was like kids Fortnite dancing and I was like, okay. And I even Fortnite danced at that wedding. Even my nephew Fortnite dances and he's so good at them. I'm like, dude, you should really like do some dancing stuff because he has like the rhythm down for like the default dance and everything and I'm like the shuffle and everything. He's got a little bit of rhythm in him. I'm like, just do it. Dance. Dancing's cool. I wish I could dance. MC Hammer Shuffle? That's a good one. Gangnam Style? That's not even that old. I'm talking about 20 years old. You know what, man? None of y'all get it what it was like back into 90s. When are the 90s going to be like the new 70s? When people are like trying to ape the style from the 90s. Have we done that already? Has that come and gone? Did I miss it? The YMCA? Ah, that shit's still popping. YMCA will never die. It's pretty dope. It's not cringy, it's fucking dope. It's fucking dope. The Macarena's won, yeah. Pity My Chemical Romance didn't have any dances. Because you know, sure shit, we would have done those. Trade silly bands? It's not really a show. It's not really. Fortnite dances are like a mating display for kids these days. Kids don't mate, but you know what I mean. It's like, look how cool I am. Watch me. I'm doing the thing. Haha. Wubba wubba. It's like, what was the thing that I used to do as a kid that was like cringy that I was like, hey, everyone, look at me. The Harlem Shake. Oh my god, you guys saying late 2000s thing is really bothering me because that means you're so young. People giving me like Gangnam Style. I'm like, oh man. You're just from the early 2000s, aren't you? It's like somebody, the girl who beat Venus Williams at Wimbledon yesterday. It's like born in 2004. I'm like, oh, let me hold something. I'm a die of old age right now. It's so weird to me that people, I said this, I think recently on another stream, that people born after 9/11 now, this year will be 18 years old. I was 11 when that shit happened. That's so bizarre. They'd be legal adults in most places. Crazy. I'm getting old. Where's my time going? Please, take it from me. Time goes by too quickly. You hit like 24, and I swear to God, the next 6 years are just like, what? What the fuck? But I'm very excited to be 30. Very excited for my 30s. I think I'm going to be in the best headspace that I've ever been in my life going into my 30s. Which I think a lot of people are. You're just like, man, those 20s? That was a wild ride, huh? Remember being depressed? I sure do. And then, now you hit your 30s and 30 is supposed to be when you have it together. If you don't have it together when you're 30, don't worry. A lot of people don't. But for me, and a lot of people I know who are already 30, it's like, yeah, I spent my 20s trying to figure shit out. I feel like I got it down. And now, I'm 29, I'm basically 30 already. There's no fucking difference. After 25, none of the birthdays count until you're 30. And then, now it's like, I'm ready. Send me in, coach. I want to be in the best shape of my life. I want to be... I'm in the best mentality that I've been probably ever. I'm in a fucking fantastic relationship. I got some wonderful friends. I got a pretty great life. Everything's going good. Woo! I'm excited. But the rest of you that are still in your 20s, good luck out there. You'll need it. Figure shit out. Do the mistakes. Try some new stuff. Fuck it up. Get sad. Cry your eyes out every now and then. Have some fun with friends. Fuck bitches, get money. Just have fun, man. Enjoy yourself. That's what I'm saying. Whenever... I always try and, like, put it into perspective as well. Whenever anybody says something, like, vile on the internet, like, the comments that always crack me up are like, at the last episode of Papers, Please recently, I didn't let in that one character, the dude's wife or girlfriend, and I was like, oh man, yeah, shit, I should have let her in. I think I let her in the first playthrough. And then I was like, well, I just want to kind of fuck shit up in this playthrough. I don't want to do the same playthrough again. And then so many people are like, I'm genuinely mad at Jack for not letting that character in. And I'm like, okay, It's time to put down the phone and go outside. Not only, if you're actually getting upset by there's some stupid shit in a video game, don't get me wrong, I take the video game seriously when I have to. But at the end of the day, who cares? Who gives an absolute fuck? In a week, you will not remember. So I let it take up that much mental energy and burn that many mental calories just because you have to sit down, you have to write that shit out. You have to write that comment out. It's so much energy. You're actually burning calories. You've wasted like a calorie or two, writing that comment out. And not that it bothers me. Like, I stopped worrying about, like, pleasing people like that in the comments a long time ago. Because that type of mentality is like, okay, well, I can't please you. I'm sorry that you didn't enjoy it, but at the same time, I'm not gonna let that get me down. Like, not to be a dick about it or anything, but you know what I mean. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, in a year's time, you might not even be watching my content anymore. You might not even give a shit who Jacksepticeye is, but you sat and felt upset that I did not let a character do a thing in a video game. Man, and this is free content. It's something that I didn't have to make, and you didn't have to pay to make, and you didn't even have to watch. But here we are, in this moment, and I just kind of sit there and go, man. Because I remember being there, I remember being a teenager and getting up in arms about how much better PlayStation was than Xbox. And now I'm like, man, I really just fucking wasted my time, didn't I? Don't waste your time. Do something fun. There's a lot of time to waste, but it can also be put into something fun. Just watch a TV show you like. Listen to some music you like. Go outside, hang out with friends. That's not being epic. When's the tour documentary coming out? Hopefully after summer, like late summer, early fall time. I hope so. I'm gonna talk to the guys about it when I'm in LA next week. That was not very hashtag epic royale of you. I mean, again, don't get me wrong. Sometimes there's valid criticisms to say in videos. Like, some proper advice and some proper feedback on stuff that I'm really just not getting. Like the fingerprints thing, I kept being like, how do I check your fingerprints? And I kept checking it against people. And then it wasn't until the last episode, and I think I did it in the first one as well, where I was like, oh, I check it against the fucking slip that comes back. Duh! When I figured it out, it was so obvious, but the whole time I was like, wait, what do I do? Like, that stuff I get, and that stuff I'm also like, yeah, of course. Idiot. Some things are just not worth stressing yourself out over. Let people enjoy playing games, and no playthrough will ever go perfectly. Exactly. Some will go better than others, some will be shit. And it's fine to be upset about things, but don't try and make other people feel bad about it. Oh god. There's like a little... that like ding, and this kind of sounds like my doorbell. And I keep thinking like, package? Collab with Dashi on Mario Kart? He would destroy me. I messaged him a while back saying that I would like to collab with him. I don't know why we never have. I just don't know what game we would play. That's why I messaged him 2 days ago, before I recorded the Mario Maker episode when I was doing his intro. I messaged him saying that we should collab if they, when they put multiplayer in where you can like just add friends and play multiplayer that way. We'll do some Mario Maker levels together. Package at 1:30 AM. Okay, babe, just... it's always package time. Do some videos with Gab. We're trying to figure out the right thing to do. Because it's also just going to be met with like, who's this girl? Is that his sister? I thought he was dating so-and-so. God, this new girl sucks. And stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of positive things as well. The positives towards me and Evelyn's relationship so far has been way more than the negatives, but It's just like, it's also like, I want to interact with the comments. I don't want to have to avoid them. She's lovely. I know. I'm the one dating her. I know more than anybody. I just ate 3 pounds worth of salad. That's a lot of fucking salad. I'm quite partial to Gab too. She's a good bean. You've known her longer than I have, Sino. You know all too well. She's delightful. She's my boo. We're gonna steal her? Haha, good luck. I've been working out. I'm very strong right now. Evelyn can attest to that. Because I beat the shit. Could you imagine? Evelyn, babe, tell them how strong I am. Because I punched you that one time. Debris! Debris! That's another thing I like about Evelyn. Is that I can make jokes like that and she knows it's a joke. She says debris because that's what Japanese people say, because they don't say V, because V is not a sound that they make, so it becomes a B, and it stands for DV is domestic violence. So debris. But Evelyn knows how strong I am. I helped her dad move a couch. Recalling Tracer, thank you for the Prime sub. And Ava, thank you for the 100 bits. Is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is Patrick. Oh. He can totally lift me. I can. I'm a strong boy. I'm a fucking unit. Big strong man move couch. That's what I said to her dad. Because he doesn't speak perfect English. So I had to verbalize it in a way that he understood. Big strong man move couch. Me Irish, you Dutch. Me been having thank welcome in home. Yes, Evelyn's dad is a caveman. Did you pivot? Didn't need to pivot. We stood on top of a van and put it in through the second story window. We didn't even carry it upstairs. I was like, well, this is not going to fit through the door, so whoop! Me Irish, me couch move, puny Norwegian. Norwegian? But problem. To crunch. Felon Griffin, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub. Yeah, I just threw the couch. I put it up my shoulder like a javelin and just... Yeet! It's your Colchi genes? That's how I know you're an Irish person. I can spot the Irish people in the chat a mile away. I'm a fucking Colchi. What does Colchi actually mean? Does it mean like... I used to always think that Colchis were like from the country. An unsophisticated Irish person. Okay, yeah, so people from the country. If you're a bleeding Colchi. I'm a Colchi. Oh my god, the BIM Trimester? The one and only. Did you get the easy lift? No, I didn't need it. My arms are the easy lift. What should we talk about, guys? What do you want to talk about? I'm trash number 1. Thank you for the 13 months. Wow, 2 years. Is that joke still going? Dark No Heart, thank you for the 100 bits. I might be the only Arab here. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. It's always surprising to see where people are filtering in from. Do not spam where you're from in chat. The mods will kill you. And then they'll kill me. Revisit Happy Wheels. Never. It's dead and it's not coming back. Unless the game is going to go away forever. That was my only stipulation. If the game was going to be shut down forever because Flash is closing this year, then I would do it. Never say never. Okay, if someone wants to donate $100 million to the next charity stream, then I'll do it. I'd probably do it for something Do another Happy Wheels after you dye your hair green again. No! I'm trying to get away from that. I don't want that to fucking linger. Time to call Elon Musk. Yeah, if we can get something really unique. Like if Ryan Reynolds came along as well and he was like, we'll do it if we play Happy Wheels. Then I'd be like, absolutely. Do you guys see how buff Ryan Reynolds got for Blade Trinity? What a fucking man. What a hunk of meat. What a fucking unit. Body inspo. Ryan Reynolds part 2 soon? I wish. I want to reach out to him. Kind of needs to be a reason though. I don't think he'd want to do it if it was just like, hey, Jacksepticeye's in town, let's do something. Because then it runs the gamut of being unpredictable. I think they work best when we have like a vision to do. I would absolutely love to promote his gin though. If Ryan wants me to do like a sponsorship with him to really just really spray my nut everywhere about aviation gin, I will. I will absolutely do whatever. I will whore myself out for aviation gin. Because those are the brand deals that are fun. And you can joke about and you can dick around with. Because he does it all the time and that's what I love about them. Man, this is a Wendy's. Man, I'd spray my nut all over a Wendy's right now. Fucking Wendy's burgers are the best burgers. Sean Twitch police. Would they actually say anything about that? I don't think so. I think people have done worse. Charity with Ryan Reynolds? That would be cool. If I could get Ryan Reynolds to show up at the charity stream at the end of the year again for December. Like how we got like Troy and Brian and Aaron and... Oh, and Evelyn was there for that one. If we could get people in like that again and Ryan Reynolds showed up, I'd be happy. Not just gay. I'm gonna say I wouldn't hate it. Aaron would not like that. He loves Wendy's. No, but that's why it's good. I'm doing it because I can't control it because of how good Wendy's is. And Aaron would definitely spray his nut all over Wendy's. Aaron's probably talked about jerking off more times than any other guy I know. Why does Cringe Miss feel like it happened yesterday? Yeah, it's so long ago. Ryan is a very busy man nowadays. Is he? I know he's doing a new movie called Free Guy. But other than that, what's he doing? Being a dad? Being an awesome husband? Ugh! Fuck that. That doesn't get you money. People aren't just nice for the sake of it. They have to have ulterior motives. Wendy's secret sauce. Wendy's fucking always fresh, never frozen, baby. That'll become the new Coke Zero. Same great Coke taste, zero sugar. Now with a hint of added vanilla. I'd be like, I get sponsored by Wendy's and do... Guys, do you know about the amazing... The fuck do Wendy's have? I haven't had it enough, because it's not here. Do you know about the amazing Wendy's double bacon kids? What did they have? What's the double meat patty that they have? Double bacon? Is that just what it's called? Come on, Wendo. You're better than that. The Baconator! You guys know about the Baconator? Always fresh, never frozen, melts in your mouth. That'll be my new one. Oh, the Baconator, so good! Babe, we're getting Wendy's. I want Taco Bell again. Okay, Evelyn? I'm just gonna veto your Taco Bell here for a second. We can get that in Brighton, that's fine. We'll get that, okay? We'll get that for you. I want Wendy's. Can you take me to Wendy's? I want to go to Wendy's when we're in LA. I want to go with Aaron, and I want to sit next to Aaron, and I just want to take a bite of a burger together and just go at the same time. It's not either or. That's true. Yes, Ross, you were absolutely coming. All three of us will sit in a circle. And we'll just go. Ross, do you like Wendy's as much as Aaron does? What's your favorite burger place? Because Wendy's is mine. Five Guys is good. It's probably one of top 3 for me, but it's a little too pricey. And their chips are not that great. But Wendy's is the one, when all of them have been super hyped for me. In-N-Out was like super hyped and I was like, it's good, whatever. And then Five Guys was super hyped and I was like, okay, I get it. And then Wendy's was super hyped and I was like, oh baby. Have you ever had Whataburger? I really like it. No, I haven't. But that's another one that I really want to try. And we missed it when I was in Texas one time. We were going to get it and then I was like, fuck. So I have to try that one out. Boom. Should VIP some people, but I don't know how to do it. How do I VIP a person? Can I just click their name? Names are moving. I don't know. Help. But Wendy's, yeah. Wendy's is pretty good. Oh, you just slash VIP? Oh. Does that have to be a big VIP? I don't know. Then I have to get the names right? Oh, my life's real hard. I don't like having a hard life. Hey, it worked! Added Sino as a VIP. Sino, you're a VIP now. Evelyn, did I not have you as a VIP? For shame. For shame, me! Swore! Sumimasen. Babe, you're the VIP in my heart. Oh, are you already? Oh, you're already a VIP of the channel. Hey, best boyfriend ever. I went from the worst to the best real fast. Oh my god. Baby. I'm a fucking VIP machine right now. What's the benefit of VIPing? How about Ross? Yeah, I want to VIP him. This is Evelyn's idea. She messaged me and I checked it on my Apple Watch by Apple. It's just easier to see. I mean, you guys all have verified ticks though. Burgers, I love burgers. Oh lord, I can talk. Ross, spill the tea. Spill the burger tea. Ugh, burger tea. Burger tea. When I'm playing Slime Rancher again, probably in part of the prep for VidCon, because that won the thing for the stream. Walden, thank you for the Twitch Prime sub, and Baby Duck, thank you for the tier 1. Appreciate you guys. Slime Rancher is going to be fun again. Everstar, thank you for the Prime. Blader Ninja, thank you for the 500 bits. What do you think of Wendy's fries? I think they're good. I think they're just normal, right? So they're not good, they're not good, they're not bad. But their burgers more than make up for it. Man, now I want Wendy's. I'm so hungry. Now it's too late to eat anything. What am I gonna do? I wanna die. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow dead. Evelyn, you should be in bed! It's almost 3 AM for you. I'll be wrapping up stream soon anyway. It's just whatever. Wendy's chicken nuggets though, they're pretty good. The JSC is dead news articles are gonna make a comeback. They always do. You're not my mom. I could be. I don't speak enough Dutch to be your mom. Godverdomme. What's your favorite fries? My favorite fries are from an Irish place called Supermax, which is a knockoff of McDonald's that's only available in Ireland. And Supermax is so fucking good. Their chips and their garlic sauce is so good. Your mic is ahead of your camera. It does that sometimes. It has drift. Wait. I don't know if that changes anything. Sometimes you like need to reinitialize the things. The longer you go, the more the drift happens. Took you drift! Shawarma? I've never had it. You've never had good Wendy's? If you've had Wendy's, then they've all been good Wendy's. The first Wendy's I had was in an airport. And it was awesome. And there was a guy next to me who was working at the convention that happened to find us again. And he was really awkward and would not go away and then sat and ate food with us. And then offered to pay for our food when I had already paid it, which was really, really nice of him. But I can't remember what convention it was. It was just one of those situations where I'm like, oh. Ali's on J, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Because I think he was one of the people working at the convention who was like a super fan and was already kind of crossing some boundaries already at the convention, and then we saw him at the airport and it was like, ugh. I was like, okay, gotta go grab our flight now. That's leaving in an hour and a half. I know that type. So bad. We went out for drinks with Felix and the boy, me and the boys! Boys locker room. We went out for Mad Lads. And we went to a pub, and of course Felix gets recognized everywhere he goes. We were walking into the bathroom and some guy was like, oh, you're Jacksepticeye. That's so awesome. And he kind of just left. So I was like, oh, weird. And then I went in and some guy next to me was like, oh, you're Jacksepticeye. I was like, don't look at my dick. I'm so excited for Donut Friend. Oh, it's gonna fuck me up, daddy. Donut Friend is chaos in sugar form. I am that type. I'm a social disaster. I mean, don't get me wrong. People coming up and saying hi is fine. I love meeting people. But it's like take the social hints. Take the clues. Because it kind of just feels like ambushing then. Have you ever seen Felix drunk? Yes. Of course I have. I love to meet people, but don't look at my meat. Exactly. It's not too much to ask, really. Felix can't drink as much as I can, though. Irish blood. So, when we went... Where did we go? I think it was when we were in the Creator Summit in New York in like 2016. He wanted to like challenge me to stay up longer than I do, have more energy than I do, and drink more than I do. And I was like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, you are not going to be able to do this. And then by the end of the night, I had a good buzz going on, and he was fucked. It was so fun. It was one of my fondest memories. We sang karaoke in a bar. Sang karaoke in a bar recently as well. Wow, full circle. Felix is a lightweight. He is. He's a cheap date. Lauren Max, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Steffi Queen for the prime. Alison J, did I get you? Thank you for the tier 1 sub. And Frizz is cool. And Destrin, thank you for the prime sub. You're ultra lightweight. Yeah, Evelyn's gone after 1 glass of wine. And I'm like a bottle deep, and I'm like, y'all hear something? I don't even drink that often. I just have a pretty high tolerance, I guess. But he's still awesome. Of course he is. I wouldn't hang out with him if he wasn't a great person to hang out with. PAX East 2019 was fun, but kind of weird. For you specifically, or just in general, Ava? I had my most awkward fan interaction ever at PAX East this year. Which was, I've had some weird ones before, and I've had people show up at my house at like 8, 9 a.m. when I answered the door in my underwear. And it was just kids standing there. That was previously my weirdest one. But this one, I was standing in line at the meet and greet. Meeting people as always. Having a lot of fun. Every single person was great, as they always are. A bunch of people that I recognize over and over again. A bunch of people who I saw for the first time. It was lovely. Great time. I always love meeting people. But then one person came up, and I had met this person before. They were great. And I was like, oh cool, nice to see this person again. Didn't know their name, but they came up and they took the picture and everything. It was great. And then they like turned to me and they're like, can I be honest? And I was like, of course you can. And then they leaned in super close to the point where I could taste their dinner on my ear, feel their breath on my ear, and they just said, I wish you had stayed single longer, put their hand on my chest and draped it down and walked off. And I was like, ugh! I was like, that is a fucking boundary that you just crossed. I was like, nope. Hell no. And I'm a fairly nice person. I give people the time of day. I have all the time in the world. Yeah, Evelyn was like standing right next to me. Evelyn and Robin were like right next to me, and I kind of turned and were like, I kind of like halted the signing for a bit and like went over and like sanitized my hands and like took a drink of water, and I was like, guys, this fucking weird thing just happened. And I was like, well, thank you. Now I have a story to tell. Because I love meeting people. I give people as much time as I possibly can. But that, as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, you're done. So gross. Completely inappropriate. I don't know how you get to that point in your head. Because I don't know if they meant, I wish you had stayed single longer for yourself, or I wish you had stayed single longer so I had a chance. I have no idea what the context was. I'm just like, no thanks. We're done. I don't want that energy around me. And then it's really weird to go back and be like, okay. Hi, nice to meet you. That was like an hour into a 3-hour signing. So just don't be that person. I'd shower in Purell. That would burn your eyes though. Cobalt, thank you for the 100 bits.
Well, I hope you don't get the job.
If I ever saw you, I'd give you a high five and maybe even a hug. Those are absolutely fine. I would love that. Because not to dwell on it or anything, it wasn't even just the closeness of it, like right in my ear. But that like hand on the chest and then like sliding it down as they left, I'm like, ugh. It's like copying a feel. Imagine if the roles were reversed and I did that to a girl. No. Or imagine if the role was reversed and a fan did that to another person with breasts. I think if the Twitch staff actually... I think if the PAX staff actually knew that, I think... I don't know if it's grounds to actually get you kicked out. Because it wasn't done with any sort of, like, evil intent. What do you think of Phil Lester and Dan Howell's coming out videos? Wonderful. I love the contrast between them as well. Dan's was like 40 minutes of heart-gripping drama, intense storytelling, excellent shots, well-crafted and everything. Not to say that Phil's wasn't well-crafted, but then Phil's was basically like kicking the door down. It's like, sup bitches, I'm gay! It was great. But I'm so happy for them. I wish them all the best. Hopefully I can get to see them at... Are they going to VidCon? Hopefully I get to see them when I'm there. I have to recreate the photo I did with them 2 years ago. Is the shotgun mic you have now better than your Neumann U87? And where's the Neumann? The Neumann's outside, or Newman, or however you pronounce it. For me, it was better. The other one is probably better at a base level. It probably has a better flat curve to sound. And it's probably better overall with the right tweaking. But I like this because it's hyper cardioid and it has a nice bass response when I get in closer to it. And it just felt like it has less floor noise than the other one. The other one I felt like I had to tweak more. If you're in a perfectly soundproofed room doing like a vocal session or anything, the U87 would be way better. But for the environment that I am in, I think that this one works better. I think the thing is that the internet makes everything and everyone so accessible nowadays to the point where people think they're close to someone or like friends with someone just by tweeting at them. Yeah, and that's true. And you guys know more about me than I know about all of you, so there is that weird boundary as well. It's weird because we have a connection, but technically we're not friends. So that barrier crossing is like, no, you can't do that. I mean, that was just that one person though, so. It's not gonna change my opinion on meeting people. One person's not gonna spoil the bunch. Ava, thank you for the 100 bits. As soon as I called you a cunt, I was thinking, oh shit, I'm so sorry, but you were chill about it. I think I just called you on back. I think somebody else did that in the line then afterwards. Cause I got it. Like, you've said it in the chat a bunch of times as well, and we've joked about it, so in person it's like, oh, I get it. We're able to joke about that. And if someone calls me a cunt, I'm like, okay, you can joke around. That's fun. With the right context, and having made that joke with you in the chat before, I knew that was fine. But then I think somebody else came up later, and I think they said it. They were like, sup cunt? And I was like, oh, another person who's fun about it. And then I think I said it back, and they kind of like stopped, and basically were like, please don't ever say that to me. I was like, what? You can't say it to me, and then just not expect to have it said back to you. So bizarre. People are weird. Trash number 1, thank you for the 500 bits. Do I have your permission to give you the strongest bear hug at PAX? Okay, within reason though. I don't want you to like actually hurt me. Sup fucker? Sup you bastard? You're an asshole, you know that? Don't ever say that to me. Darkside, thank you for the 100 bits. And Darkside, thank you as well for the... Oh, you gifted a sub. Thank you. Alright. Babies and beanies? I think that I'm going to call the stream here. We've been streaming for like 3 hours. I've kind of just been sitting here ranting for so long. This was nice though. Some nice little chill stream to hang out. It was super fun. Thank you to everyone who showed up. Thank you to everyone for all the bits. Thank you for all the subs and the sweet messages. We went down a valley today. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out and thanks for always being here. It always means a lot to me that I can kind of just turn on a stream at any time, and there's always people who are willing to just sit around and listen to me talk and rant and understand me. So that really honestly does mean a lot. It's hard to find that when you're doing this kind of stuff, so I really appreciate it. But thank you guys very much. I'm gonna call the stream here, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's upload, whatever that is. I think I beat Ross's level tomorrow in my video. So you can look forward to that. There's a lot of pain along the way though. But thank you guys. I'll catch you on the flippity flop. I kind of have to wait for this because otherwise if I cut it off early it's not okay. Okay, bye!